Chapter 475. Qin Yu's current cultivation had reached the 8th grade Martial Emperor realm. However, the gap between the Martial Emperor realm and the Emperor realm was as big as a chasm. If it was a divine grade dragon, Qin Yu would be a little worried if it could directly advance to the Emperor realm. However, if it was a divine grade dragon, then it would not be surprising at all. This fluctuation should be the bloodthirsty killing heavenly dragon. The dragon's soul sensed for a while and said, "If it's a bloodthirsty killing heavenly dragon, I'm afraid it won't be easy to subdue." Qin Yu pondered for a moment. The bloodthirsty killing heavenly dragon's original divine ability was the bloodthirsty killing hell. It was somewhat similar to the 9 Serenities Hell Dragon, as it was also a boundary divine ability. However, compared to the 9 Serenities Hell Dragon, the bloodthirsty killing heavenly dragon was much more brutal and bloodthirsty. There was once a bloodthirsty killing heavenly dragon that was close to the immortal grade. Because of its bloodthirst, it caused a monstrous catastrophe in the 9 states of the heaven domain and slaughtered hundreds of millions of lives. The level of turmoil was far beyond the current situation in the 9 states of the heaven domain. It's not easy for the dragon race to transform. It shouldn't be so stubborn. The dragon soul said. Of course, if it insisted on not surrendering, then there was no other way but to kill it. Something seems to have happened in the depth. Be careful. Sun Guxing used his divination technique. After seeing the ominous sign, his expression turned serious. Sun Jiuxiao and the others heard him and moved forward in a special formation. In the middle of the formation was Qin Yu. Rumble. At this moment, in the wilderness, near the center of the area, a great battle was taking place. A divine turtle that was about 500 feet tall, like a mountain, was emitting a dazzling golden light all over its body. The golden light was like a golden divine sword, wreaking havoc in the sky and shattering the earth, as if it could slash everything in the world. This golden divine turtle was an ancient variant, the ancient black golden turtle. The ancient black golden turtle could be considered a descendant of the 5 elements sacred heavenly turtle. However, it did not inherit the 5 elements' divine power and only had the power of profound gold. Even so, the ancient black golden turtle was definitely considered a top-notch exotic beast among the many ancient variants. The desolate black gold tortoise's aura was definitely at the level of a high-level emperor master. In front of the desolation black gold tortoise, there was a man in blood-red clothes whose eyes seemed to be condensed from blood. The man's blood-red eyes were cold, and his killing intent was monstrous. The aura he emitted was like an ocean, unfathomable. Facing the golden divine light of the desolation Xian golden tortoise, the man kept making hand seals. Streaks of blood-red ancient runes condensed and blocked all the golden divine light that shot over. This cold-looking man in blood-red clothes was the dragon clan that the dragon soul had sensed, the bloodthirsty killing heavenly dragon. While the battle was going on, the cold-looking man in blood-red robes repeatedly looked into the depths of the desolate ancient land. During this period of time, he tried to break free from the primordial black gold tortoise several times, but he was constantly entangled and unable to break free. Black golden tortoise, if you continue to pester me, don't blame me for being ruthless. After hundreds of rounds of battle, a sea of blood vaguely appeared in the blood-red eyes of the bloodthirsty slaughter sky dragon. In the sea of blood, there were countless corpses floating up and down. It was as terrifying as hell. The bloodthirsty slaughter sky dragon's aura also skyrocketed at this moment. The blood-red ancient runes formed by his hands were like Shinran, easily crushing the golden divine light that was attacking him. Xian Hai, back when you stole the immortal treasure and betrayed us, we said that you would enter the desolate ancient land. If you step into the desolate ancient land again, your blood will be spilled here. Do you think we were just casually talking? The primordial black gold tortoise spoke in human language and snorted coldly. As a descendant of the primordial divine beast and a desolate ancient mutant, its intelligence had long been awakened. However, many desolate ancient mutants did not walk the path of transformation. They mainly focused on awakening their bloodline and strengthening their physique. The stronger their bloodline and physique, the more terrifying their strength would be. What they pursued was the final realm of atavism. The Dragon Emperor is a rare genius. It's just a matter of time before he unifies the Dragon Clan. In the future, he will even be able to rule the entire 9 states of the Heaven Domain. The immortal treasure left behind by the immortal phoenix's soul can only be used by the Dragon Emperor. Why are you so stubborn? As long as you submit to the Dragon Emperor, you can choose the vast sky domain when you become a lord in the future. You don't have to hide in this small, desolate, ancient land anymore. He sensed that the primordial black gold tortoise's power had also increased by a level. The bloodthirsty heavenly dragon known as Xian Hai frowned slightly. In terms of combat strength, he was not afraid of the primordial black gold tortoise. However, the primordial black gold tortoise's defense was very strong. He found it difficult to suppress it in a short time. More importantly, he sensed that there were many powerful auras that were not weaker than the primordial black gold tortoise in the desolate ancient land. Apparently, many desolate ancient mutants had sensed his battle with the primordial black gold tortoise. This was not a good thing for him. Our ancestors were bestowed by the immortal Phoenix Divine Lord in the past to awaken our bloodline and awaken our intelligence. We will follow our ancestors' wishes and protect the immortal Phoenix Divine Lord's position for generations. You betrayed your ancestors and submitted to the Dragon Clan from the outer region. You even stole the immortal Phoenix's immortal treasure. Now, you want us to follow you and betray you? You must be dreaming. Sacred golden runes appeared on the primordial black gold tortoise's huge shell. The divine aura it exuded became more powerful and terrifying. Even the heavens and the earth kept shaking. Do you really think I can't do anything to you? Xian Hai's murderous intent intensified. The blood sea appeared in his blood-red eyes. Blood-red dragon scales appeared on his skin, and a vast blood chi surged into the sky like a river. Howl! Suddenly, a long howl of a wolf was heard. A giant green wolf that was 100 feet tall came from the distant horizon, bringing with it a demonic chi hurricane. Primordial wind wolf. Xian Hai, who was about to use his killer move, was shocked. If the primordial wind wolf continued to entangle him, it would be extremely difficult for him to escape. Thinking of this, the blood-red dragon scales on Xian Hai's body shone brightly. Trying to run? The primordial black gold tortoise's golden eyes focused and saw through Xian Hai's intention. Rays of golden light appeared on the golden tortoise shell and turned into a golden cage that fell from the sky to suppress Xian Hai. Escape? But at this moment, Xian Hai turned into a ray of blood-red light and disappeared. The next time he appeared, he was already 1,000 miles away. After a few flashes, Xian Hai completely disappeared, and his aura could no longer be detected. Almost at the same time, an extremely oppressive hurricane swept over. The primordial wind wolf that was 100 feet tall appeared. Blood void escape? The primordial wind wolf stopped and looked at the disappearing blood sea. It did not chase after him. Xian Hai is probably here for the deity Phoenix Divine Ruin. We can't let him get close to the deity Phoenix stream. The primordial black gold tortoise's golden light gradually dimmed. It's not just Xian Hai. Several of the top human sacred grounds in the East Continent seem to have heard the news. Even the forces in the Middle Continent have come. I'm afraid it will be difficult to stop all of them. The primordial wind wolf's voice was majestic. Chapter 476. Focus on guarding the temple. Kill anyone who dares to approach. The primordial black golden tortoise's eyes flashed fiercely. What about the heaven-swallowing ghost python and the soul-devouring lion? The ancient wind wolf nodded slightly and asked. Even if we have some grudges, we should work together now. I will talk to them personally. The primordial black golden tortoise thought for a while and said. After a short discussion, the primordial black golden tortoise and the ancient wind wolf left separately. About half an hour later, a group of people came quietly. If Qin Yu and the dragon soul were here, they would recognize them. They were from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. The bloodthirsty heavenly dragon seemed to have fought here. It seems that the information is true. Although the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon was born in the ancient Desolation Land, it has completely separated from those ancient beasts and is even hostile to them. The Heaven Domain hasn't seen a transformed dragon for nearly 1,000 years. We must not let the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon go. Otherwise, we will not be able to explain to the Ghost Emperor. Wasn't there a rumor that a transformed dragon appeared in the spiritual state? No one went to check it out? I heard that the Ghost Emperor personally ordered us not to go to the spiritual state. Maybe the spiritual state is too chaotic. But as far as I know, some ghost shadow elders on the ghost list secretly went to the spiritual state. No way. Except for the Ghost Emperor, even the Supreme Elder and the others can't order the ghost shadow elders on the ghost list. Those Emperor Realm Masters were from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. However, as they conversed, it was as if they were cultivators from different factions, making guesses. If outsiders heard this, they would be extremely surprised. But this situation was extremely common in the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. Although the Ghost Emperor Holy Island was led by the Ghost Emperor Zhentian, there were many factions. In order to compete for resources, infighting and killing each other often happened. It was not surprising that the information was not equal. Don't make wild guesses. If the Ghost Emperor has any orders, the 10 Great Elders will pass them on. Now, we just need to find a way to capture the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. That's true. However, the speed of the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon's secret skill is frighteningly fast. We haven't been able to catch up with him all the way from the Barren State to the East State. We must think of a way to capture him. Let's follow and take a look first. That bloodthirsty heavenly dragon must have some ulterior motives for returning to this desolate ancient land from the outer realm. After talking for a while, the Ghost Emperor Holy Island's people left and disappeared into the void. After the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others left, the void rippled like water. A figure stepped out from the center of the ripples. That person was actually AOD, who had an agreement to join forces with Qin Yu. A mere bastard actually dares to proclaim himself the Dragon Emperor? Just as well, I'll slaughter your right-hand man first. AOD's eyes flashed with coldness as he sneered. Earlier when the Black Sea and the primordial black golden tortoise were fighting, AOD had already hidden in the surroundings. He looked at the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others who were leaving and sneered. Roar. In the central region of the desolate ancient land, the deafening roar of a beast could be heard. A primordial exotic beast that looked like a rhinoceros was shining with a cyan luster as if it was made of bronze was attacking a figure. This primordial exotic beast was an ancient one-horned rhinoceros, famous for its infinite strength and indestructibility. The cultivator that the ancient one-horned rhinoceros was attacking was Sun Jiushao from Heavenly Imperial Palace. As expected of a primordial exotic beast, Sun Jiuxiao's Dao art was chaotic, and his aura was terrifying, like a peerless sword being unsheathed. However, the ancient one-horned rhinoceros was only a high-level Emperor Realm Master. However, he was not defeated by Sun Jiuxiao, who was a top-tier Emperor Realm Master. Sun Jiuxiao had resisted for a long time with his powerful physical body. Attack. Let's end this quickly. Sun Guxing, who had used his divination technique to deduce the location of the immortal phoenix stream, immediately gave the order. The desolate ancient land had existed in the Eastern Territory for countless years, and it had never been conquered by the forces of the Eastern Territory. The degree of danger here was imaginable. If they were delayed, they would be besieged by the ancient one-horned beast. Rumble. The Emperor Realm Masters from Heavenly Imperial Palace, who were originally protecting Sun Guxing, immediately attacked. Immediately, an earth-shattering battle broke out. The void distorted and the earth cracked. Under the siege of all the emperors from heavenly imperial palace, the ancient one-horned rhinoceros was quickly defeated and fled with serious injuries. Sun Jiushao and the others did not give chase. They quickly flew into the depths of the desolate ancient land. Awoo! After flying for tens of thousands of miles, heavenly imperial palace and the others heard a majestic howl. Along with the howl, there were many extremely chaotic fluctuations of Taoist technique. Emperor Realm Masters, and there are quite a few of them. Apart from us, there are other forces in the desolate ancient land? What should we do? Sensing the chaotic Tao art fluctuations, Heavenly Imperial Palace and the others withdrew their auras and looked at Sun Guxing and Sun Jiushao, waiting for their orders. Let's go and take a look. After a discussion, Sun Guxing and Sun Jiushao decided to go and take a look. Usually, no cultivators would go deep into the desolate ancient land. Why did they happen to encounter cultivators when they were on their way to the immortal Phoenix stream? This made them a little concerned. Not long after, Qin Yu and the others arrived outside a deep valley. There was a chaotic battle taking place in the huge valley that spanned tens of thousands of miles. The two sides of the battle were more than 10 ancient exotic beasts and more than 50 human emperors. The battle was extremely fierce, and the entire valley was destroyed. Although there were only a dozen or so of those great desolate beasts, there seemed to be some sort of special power on those great desolate beasts. Therefore, even in the face of more than 50 human emperors and the dozen ancient exotic beasts, they were not at a disadvantage. Among the dozen or so prehistoric beasts, the most powerful one was a fiery red flaming lion with 3 horns. It was an ancient exotic beast that was comparable to a top Emperor Realm Master. Its strength was unfathomable. That is, the dragon soul's eyes narrowed when he saw the symbol of a dragon and a tiger on the 50 emperors. The dragon-tiger divine sect. A cold murderous intent flashed in the depths of Qin Yu's eyes. The dragon-tiger divine sect was created by the dragon-tiger emperor and was one of the top forces in the eastern continent. The Dragon-Tiger Emperor was one of the 12 ancient emperors that attacked Qin Yu together with Xing Luo. The 12 ancient emperors were the heaven-suppressing Ghost Emperor, the Evil God Emperor, the Monster Saint King Emperor, and the Great Sun Heavenly Emperor. The Dragon Soul Emperor, the Profound Feather God Emperor, the Seven-Star Ancient Emperor, the Scarlet Moon Emperor. The Northern Emperor, the Chaotic North Emperor, the Great Evolution Emperor, and the 4 Symbols Tao Emperor. These 12 ancient emperors were the top 20 emperors in the Emperor realm. Their forces covered almost half of the 9 provinces of the Heaven Domain. This was also the reason why Qin Yu had always been cautious and did not expose his identity. If the 12 ancient emperors and the stronger Xing Luo knew about his reincarnation, the consequences would be unimaginable. It's the top force in the eastern continent, the Dragon-Tiger Divine Sect. Sun Jiushao was in charge of the Imperial Palace's intelligence system, so he naturally recognized the overlord force in the eastern continent. Chapter 477. They actually sent more than 50 emperors to the great desolate ancient land. The eyes of Heavenly Emperor Palace and the other Emperor Realm Masters flickered. There were so many sovereigns. Could it be that some treasure had appeared in the great desolate ancient land by coincidence? Avoid them. Sun Guxing made a prompt decision and led the Sky Emperor Palace and the others away. Their goal was to go to the immortal Phoenix stream to find the primordial divine Phoenix bone. There was no need to get involved with the forces of the East continent. Half a day passed. After evading more than a dozen ferocious beasts, the Heavenly Imperial Palaces group finally arrived at the immortal Phoenix stream. In the depths of the great desolation ancient land, there was an endless mountain range. The immortal Phoenix stream was located at the center of the mountain range. Just as they arrived outside the immortal Phoenix stream, Sun Jiuxiao and Sun Guxing's expressions changed slightly. It seems like the aura of the seven-colored celestial Qilin. Qin Yu's eyes flashed. Could there be immortal beasts in this immortal phoenix stream? Sun Jiuxiao and Sun Guxing looked at each other, clearly having the same thoughts as Qin Yu. Whoosh, whoosh. Just as Sun Guxing was about to lead his men into the immortal phoenix crevice, a series of sonic booms could be heard. Powerful and terrifying Tao fluctuations surged, shaking the wind and clouds. There was also a violent and bloodthirsty aura of the Dragon Clan within the Tao art energy. Bloodthirsty heavenly dragon is here. The dragon soul's eyes lit up and it immediately reminded him. At such a close distance, Qin Yu naturally sensed it in an instant. He tilted his head and looked at the void to his left. A group of people appeared in the sky. To be more precise, it was a streak of blood-red light flying in front, followed by dozens of ghastly figures. Bloodthirsty Sky Dragon and Ghost Emperor Sacred Island? Qin Yu's eyes narrowed as he immediately recognized him. The Ghost Emperor Holy Island's people were chasing after Bloodthirsty Sky Dragon. The Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others came to the East Continent for the Bloodthirsty Sky Dragon? The Dragon Soul's expression changed. Logically speaking, the cultivation Tao of the Ghost Emperor Sacred Island shouldn't have anything to do with the Dragon Clan. If that's the case, then we'll have to fight. Qin Yu's gaze was cold. Originally, he didn't want to meet the high-level sovereigns of the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island now. However, if the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island was really here for the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon, then they had to act. No matter what, the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon must not fall into the hands of others. Those people are from the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island of the Central Continent. Are they chasing after the Dragon Clan? As Sun Guxing spoke, he could not help but look at Qin Yu. Qin Yu's motive for coming to the Immortal Phoenix Stream was for the Dragon Clan. Could it be that the dragon he had divined was the one who had taken human form? If that was the case, they would have to go against the Ghost Emperor Sacred Island. Many thoughts surfaced in Sun Guxing's head. With Sky Emperor Palace's current strength and the current turbulent situation in the spiritual state, Sky Emperor Palace could not afford to offend them. Facing the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island, which was one of the top forces in the Central Continent, was not a joke. There's someone else? A Peak Emperor? After Bloodthirsty Sky Dragon, Ghost Emperor Holy Island, and the others, another figure silently flew over at an extremely fast speed. That person's speed was faster than the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island and the others. If one did not see that person with the naked eye, one would not be able to see that person. In other words, that person had completely concealed his aura fluctuation. Starting from martial ancestor or martial venerable, a martial artist's perception would gradually replace his vision. Especially in a battle, whoever had a more sensitive perception would be able to predict in advance and have a higher chance of winning. That person was able to completely conceal his aura, so one could imagine his attainments in the art of concealment. AOD! However, Qin Yu and the Dragon Soul were stunned when they saw that person. They did not expect AOD, who had disappeared for a long time, to appear here again. Is AOD also here for the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon? The Dragon Soul said. Back then, AOD had wanted to subdue the purple thunder divine firmament dragon and rebuild its ancestral eternal dragon. Now that he had his eyes on the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon, he probably wanted to subdue it as well. When two tigers fight, one of them will be injured. When that time comes, our chance will come. Qin Yu's eyes lit up. In this case, the heavenly imperial palace and the others were unreliable. Qin Yu could only rely on his own strength to take the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. If it was only the Ghost Emperor Holy Island, then the possibility of Qin Yu succeeding was not high. But if AOD was involved, then it would be a different story. AOD's strength was undoubtedly at the peak of the Emperor realm. Last time in the Evil Wind City, If Qin Yu had not trapped the 8 desolate wind flame dragons' dragon source blood, AOD would not have been able to escape. AOD was worried about the safety of the 8 desolate wind flame dragon. The few high-level Emperor Realm Masters from the Heavenly Imperial Palace would not be able to escape unscathed. AOD and the Ghost Emperor Holy Island were in a chaotic battle. With the Skeleton Ghost King's cultivation and means, as long as he seized the opportunity, it seemed that it was not impossible to get the bloodthirsty Heavenly Dragon source blood. 2 Dragon Clan members in human form? Seeing AOD rushing into the Immortal Phoenix stream, Sun Guxing's eyes became more solemn. AOD gave him a feeling that he was even more powerful than the peak Emperor Realm Masters from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. AOD's strength was definitely among the peak Emperor Realm Masters. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The bloodthirsty Heavenly Dragon, the Emperor Realm Masters from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island, and AOD rushed into the Immortal Phoenix stream one after another. The immortal beast fluctuations emitted from the Immortal Phoenix stream became more and more intense. Then, a thick fog was emitted and instantly shrouded the entire Immortal Phoenix stream. Moreover, it spread in all directions. Not long after, the mountain range was completely covered by the thick fog. Chirp! While Sun Guxing and the people from the Heavenly Imperial Palace were still in shock and bewilderment, a crisp and pleasant phoenix cry resounded through the 9 heavens. Faintly, one could see that within the Immortal Phoenix stream that was covered by the dense fog, there was a huge black shadow that was about to fly. Roar! Roar! The moment the phoenix cry appeared, the entire Great Desolation ancient land shook. Countless Great Desolation mutants roared. For a moment, the Great Desolation ancient land changed color and the sky trembled. The soul of the Immortal Phoenix? Somewhere in the Great Desolation ancient land, in a huge lake, the golden eyes of a giant golden tortoise changed greatly when it heard the phoenix cry. It immediately turned into a golden light and rushed into the sky, quickly flying in the direction of the Immortal Phoenix stream. Damn it, someone broke into the Heavenly Imperial Palace. At this moment, many powerful and terrifying Great Desolation mutant beasts in the Great Desolation ancient land rushed toward the Immortal Phoenix stream. Oh no, a large number of Great Desolation mutants are coming. Quickly go in. Sun Guxing and Sun Jiuxiao immediately sensed the Great Desolation ancient land's mutant beasts' movements. Their expressions changed, and they immediately led Qin Yu and the others into the Immortal Phoenix stream and disappeared into the thick fog. Although they did not know what had happened, since they were already at the Immortal Phoenix stream, they naturally could not retreat. Moreover, if they retreated now, they would definitely run into the Great Desolation mutants. Whoosh! In the Immortal Phoenix stream, Qin Yu and the others rushed into the thick fog and felt an extremely terrifying hurricane sweeping toward them from all directions. Bang! 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 Sun Guxing, Sun Jiuxia, and the others became serious and immediately attacked with all their might. However, the hurricane was extremely terrifying. It was like a great desolation divine beast had crashed into them. In an instant, the group of people from the Sky Emperor Palace were scattered in all directions. Chapter 478. Oh no! Sun Guxing's expression changed when the hurricane hit, and he instinctively grabbed toward Qin Yu. However, it was too late. In an instant, Qin Yu, Sun Jiuxiao, and the rest of the Sky Imperial Palace's people had been completely scattered. What kind of power was that? Sun Guxing's eyes flashed with surprise, and he immediately performed a divination technique to divine the whereabouts of Sun Jiuxiao and Qin Yu. Soon, Sun Guxing held the divination spiritual compass in his hand and flew toward a certain direction. At this time, the entire deity Phoenix stream was in a mess. Not only the Sky Imperial Palace's people, but also the Ghost Emperor Sacred Islands people who had chased bloodthirsty Heavenly Dragon into the deity Phoenix stream. Even the ancient beasts that were originally in the Immortal Phoenix stream were injured by the hurricane that had appeared. Whoosh! In a certain thick fog, Qin Yu, who had been swept away by the terrible hurricane, finally stabilized his body. Qin Yu looked around. The fog here was not as thick as when he had entered, and he guessed that he was already quite far away from the entrance. That hurricane just now was a little strange. The dragon soul in the ancient dragon seal said. After being scattered, Qin Yu, who had used the ancient divine power and the azure dragon battle the heavens, still could not withstand it. The power contained in that hurricane was definitely comparable to that of a top emperor. However, that hurricane did not contain the power of Tao or the power of ancient exotic beasts. Instead, it seems to be pure soul power. Qin Yu slowly descended from the void. His gaze was fixed on the looming figure of a huge phoenix in the thick fog in the distance. Could it be that the legendary deity Phoenix of the ancient era has not dissipated? The dragon soul also saw the looming figure of the phoenix and guessed. A creature of the ancient era, even if it is just a soul, should not be able to live until now. Qin Yu shook his head slightly. The ancient era, and the primordial era were 3 eras. Even immortal beasts could not live that long. Wait, however, before he finished speaking, Qin Yu seemed to have thought of something, and his voice came to an abrupt halt. This doesn't seem impossible. Qin Yu thought of the blood demon from the blood demon continent. Strictly speaking, the great desolate ancient era could be considered an era. Since the blood demon had been able to live from the ancient times until now, he had no choice but to accept the blood demon. The immortal phoenix was rumored to be an immortal beast, so it was naturally possible that it was the soul of an immortal beast left behind by the immortal phoenix. The blood demon's cultivation had always been a mystery. However, no matter how strong it was, it should only be at the level of an immortal beast. Forget it. Finding bloodthirsty heavenly dragon is the most important thing. After thinking for a moment, Qin Yu temporarily suppressed this idea. To Qin Yu, even the soul of a real immortal beast was far inferior to the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. Because killing the heavenly dragon was directly related to whether Qin Yu could officially break through to the Emperor realm. Only by breaking through to the Emperor realm could Qin Yu be considered one of the top masters in the heaven domain. Having combat power comparable to an Emperor realm master and truly breaking through to the Emperor realm were 2 completely different things. Whoosh! Just at this moment, another wave of berserk hurricanes attacked from all directions from the immortal phoenix stream. Qin Yu let out a low roar, with the soul-devouring curse in his left hand and the heaven-devouring dragon seal in his right hand, the sealing divine light flashing behind him. Boom! With the 3 of them working together, Qin Yu was still sent flying a few hundred feet away. Fortunately, he was prepared this time, and Qin Yu controlled his body as he was sent flying. What happened in the depths of the immortal phoenix stream? When the hurricanes completely dissipated, Qin Yu dispersed the sealing divine light around him. The shadow of the huge phoenix seemed to have become much more solid, and its power was even more powerful. That kind of feeling was like a peerless ferocious beast was gradually awakening. I sensed it. It's in the northwest direction. At this time, the dragon soul that used the secret technique had already locked onto the location of the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. Earth-burrowing technique. A bronze mask appeared in Qin Yu's hand, and after putting it on, his figure flashed and burrowed into the ground, disappearing. Rumble! After sneaking a few hundred miles underground, Qin Yu heard a loud noise that shook the sky. Immediately, an extremely violent and destructive principle technique mixed with the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon aura swept out. This fluctuation, sensing the aura of the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon, Qin Yu's eyes lit up, and he quietly burrowed out of the ground. He saw an astonishing battle taking place in the thick fog. The vast principle technique raged across the world, and an overwhelming amount of blood chi filled the world. They collided with each other in the void, turning the area into an area of destruction. The 2 sides of the battle were 5 Emperor Realm Masters, and they were fighting against a blood-red figure. The figure, surrounded by a dense blood-red light and covered with blood-red dragon scales, was Xian Hai. However, the 5 Emperor Realm Masters were not from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. They were all wearing pure white robes, and there was an extremely special white true qi circulating around them. It's really the Heavenly Yuan Divine Dynasty. Qin Yu's eyes flashed with a cold, murderous intent. The Tian Yuan Divine Dynasty was also one of the top forces in the East Continent. The one who created Tian Yuan Shin Dynasty was one of the 12 ancient emperors, Emperor God Tian Yuan. Qin Yu did not expect that the people of the Ghost Emperor Sacred Island would appear first, then the Longhu Divine Sect, and now, even the Tian Yuan Divine Dynasty would appear. Out of the 12 ancient emperors in his previous life, he had encountered 3 of them at once. It would be too much to call this a coincidence. It looked like there really was a possibility that some kind of treasure had appeared in this immortal phoenix stream. Soaring Heaven Divine Palm. The leader of the 5 sovereigns from the Tian Yuan Divine Dynasty was a skinny old man. His cultivation was close to that of a top-level sovereign venerable. As he thrust out his palm, the vast power of the Wei condensed into a giant palm that covered the sky, as if it was going to crush the sky. Dark blood finger! Xian Hai shouted angrily. The blood-red dragon scale on his hand glowed. Wisps of blood qi condensed on his fingertip. He pointed his finger, and a blood-red light tore through the air. The giant palm that blotted out the sky was pierced through and exploded with a loud bang. It transformed into a berserk Dao power that wreaked havoc. Blood Dragon Kill. The sea of blood in Xian Hai's blood-red eyes roiled as his murderous intent filled the sky. His figure flashed as he pounced on the 2 high-level sovereigns who were rushing toward him from the left. He formed a seal with his hands, and the blood-red dragon qi transformed into a ferocious blood-red dragon. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws as it pounced on the 2 high-level sovereigns. Ever since he came to the Heaven Domain, he had been continuously hunted down. If it weren't for the Immortal Phoenix Stream's mission, Xian Hai would have taken revenge long ago. He wouldn't have been hiding all this time. Now that he had come to the Immortal Phoenix Stream, Xian Hai could no longer suppress the bloodthirsty murderous intent in his heart. Asterisk bang. Asterisk, a deafening explosion sounded. The 2 sovereigns who had used their terrifying Wei arts trembled. They were both sent flying several hundred meters away by the blood-red dragon. Their auras fluctuated chaotically, as if they had suffered a severe backlash. Chaotic Heaven Hand. Heart-urging Demon Curse. The other 2 high-level sovereigns immediately took the opportunity to attack. They used their divine abilities and secret technique. Huge cracks appeared on the ferocious blood-red dragon, and a thick blood-like blood qi leaked out. Blood Explosion Technique. A sneer appeared at the corner of Xian Hai's mouth. With a thought, the blood-red dragon pounced on the 2 sovereigns. Immediately after, a deafening explosion sounded. The blood-red dragon directly exploded. The 2 sovereigns were immediately enveloped by a boundless blood qi. Chapter 479. Puff, puff. The blood mist split open and 2 figures flew out. They were the 2 high-level emperors. From the looks of it, they were also injured. In the blink of an eye, 4 of the 5 emperors of the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty were injured by Xian Hai. Although the 4 were only slightly injured, it was enough to show Xian Hai's strength. Huh! Qin Yu, who was watching the battle in the dark, suddenly changed his expression. Someone from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island is here too? The dragon's soul also sensed it immediately. This is going to be interesting. A smile appeared on Qin Yu's face. The more chaotic the battle was, the more beneficial it would be for him. Thinking of this, Qin Yu quietly went underground. Array runes spread out and merged into the ground. It was not easy to snatch food from the mouths of 2 top forces. He had to be prepared. Fortunately, the strange thick fog in the Immortal Phoenix Stream helped Qin Yu a lot. Otherwise, the success rate of setting up array runes under the eyes of so many emperors was not high. Boom! The violent battle continued. The destructive power of the Tao and the divine abilities and secret techniques of the Dragon Clan raged. Even if the 5 emperors of the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty joined forces, they could not suppress Xian Hai and gradually fell into a disadvantage. Xian Hai was now close to transforming into a dragon. Blood-red dragon scales covered his body and dragon horns protruded from his head. An extremely bloodthirsty and brutal dragon pressure spread out, raging in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Not only the Dragon Tiger Divine Sect, Dark Island, High Heaven Sect, even the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty has appeared. Something important must have happened in the depths of the immortal Phoenix stream. Otherwise, it would be impossible to attract so many top forces from the East continent. That huge Phoenix silhouette, could it really be the legendary Immortal Phoenix? Even if it is not the real Immortal Phoenix, it must be related to the Immortal Phoenix. Let's ignore that Phoenix shadow first. Gather the others and capture the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. Outside the violent and destructive battle, 2 figures were hiding in the thick fog. They were from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. One was a high-level emperor and the other was a top emperor. While watching the battle, the 2 people from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island would occasionally look at the gigantic phoenix shadow deep in the celestial phoenix stream. The Immortal Phoenix stream was most famous for the legendary Immortal Phoenix that had passed away here during the Desolate Age. Now, when they saw the image of a phoenix spreading its wings, they would naturally think of the legendary Immortal Phoenix. Pucci. At this time, the outcome of the battle was gradually becoming apparent. A high-level Emperor Realm Master from the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty had his arm cut off by Xian Hai's secret technique, and was sent flying while coughing up blood. The 5 people from the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty, who were already at a disadvantage, immediately fell into an absolute crisis. Hold him back! The skinny elder from the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty looked solemn, but he did not give up. However, their originally violent attacks were focused on defense. Although he had been blown away, he had used a secret technique to inform the others in the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty. As long as they could stall the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon here, they would definitely be able to capture it. Whoosh, whoosh. Sure enough, after fighting for about half an hour, silhouettes rushed out from the thick fog from all directions. There were more than 20 of them. They were all Emperor Realm Masters, and their cultivations were above the 5th or 6th level. The 2 leaders were even top Emperor Realm Masters. They are finally here! Seeing this, the skinny elder's face was filled with ecstasy. In the past half an hour, 3 of the 5 of them had been severely injured, and one of them had almost died. If it were not for his secret technique, the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon would have escaped long ago. Set up the array. After the 20 Emperor Realm Masters from the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty arrived, they immediately took out the array flags. As their Tao techniques surged, they formed a pure white ancient divine array. It trapped Xian Hai, who was covered in blood-red dragon scales and was surrounded by a vast blood qi. Roar. With a violent dragon roar, Xian Hai, who was in danger, completely revealed his true form. A blood-red dragon that was thousands of feet long traversed the heavens and the earth. The bloodthirsty heavenly dragon's blood-red dragon scales had blood-red thorns, looking extremely ferocious. Rumble! Along with the roar and dragon roar, the Tao techniques collided with the divine abilities of the Dragon Clan, and a destructive battle broke out. With such destructive fluctuations, even an ordinary Emperor Realm Master would die without a doubt if they were to barge in. Although he was besieged, Xian Hai, who had revealed the true form of the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon, had his strength amplified to that of a peak Emperor Realm Master. Not only did he not lose, but he also launched violent attacks from time to time while defending. The divine array shook violently, and it seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The Emperor Realm Masters of the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty were also occasionally injured by the secret technique attacks and were eliminated. It seems that the battle won't end in a short time. Indeed, the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty is preparing a killer move, and the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon has yet to display its source divine ability. It seems that we have to wait a little longer before we can sell it. However, I didn't expect the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty to be so obsessed with transforming into the Dragon Clan. This is indeed a little strange, but it's a good thing for us to have them as the vanguard. On the Ghost Emperor Holy Island, more than 30 Emperor Realm Masters, who had been scattered, had gathered. They did not intervene, but continued to lurk in the dark, waiting for an opportunity. Speaking of which, why does the Ghost Emperor want to transform into the Dragon Clan? Do you have any news? It seems that even the 10 Great Elders and the Supreme Elders don't know the details. The Ghost Emperor personally gave the order to capture a transformed Dragon Clan. There must be a major reason for this. That's right. Other than the ancient immortal token, this is the second time the Ghost Emperor personally gave the order after he went into seclusion to heal his injuries 1,000 years ago. The Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others were still talking to each other while watching the battle. It was precisely because the Ghost Emperor attached so much importance to the transformed Dragon Clan that they kept their eyes on the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. Even though they knew that something important must have happened in the depths of the immortal Phoenix stream, and there might even be a huge opportunity. Their main task was still to capture the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. When the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others were hiding in the dark, they did not notice. A figure quietly appeared in the thick fog around them. Although he was only a few hundred feet away from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others, none of the Emperor Realm Masters of the Ghost Emperor Holy Island noticed him. That person was Aod, who had been following them all the way. Aod watched the battle between the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty and the Black Sea coldly. He did not get involved in the battle. His idea was the same as the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. They both wanted to reap the benefits of the battle. Gotcha. The destructive battle lasted for a quarter of an hour before a clear cracking sound could be heard. The bloodthirsty heavenly dragon opened its mouth, and a huge blood-red light beam pierced through the void. A huge hole appeared in the ancient divine array set up by the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty. The 4 Emperor Realm Masters in charge of the array could not dodge in time and died under the blood-red light beam. Since we can't capture him alive, let's kill him. The skinny old man of the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty and the 2 top Emperor Realm Masters' faces became extremely ugly when they saw this. Although they were a top force, the loss of 4 6th-grade Emperor Realm Masters was quite a heavy blow. Therefore, the people of the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty immediately prepared a strategy. The originally steady attack turned into a strong suppression. Chapter 480. Heaven Origin Divine Seal. Immediately, the ancient divine array that had been pierced was restored in an instant. The Tao techniques of more than 20 Emperor Realm Masters of the Heaven Origin Divine Dynasty poured into the ancient divine array. At the center of the ancient divine array, a pure white ancient seal the size of a palm was condensed. The Tao technique that it emitted was as vast as the sea and unfathomable as a peerless god emperor. The void within a radius of 10,000 miles was suppressed by the terrifying Tao technique. It seems that the winner is about to be decided. Everyone, cheer up! Seeing this, the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others immediately focused. The battle between the Sandpiper and the Clam was coming to an end. It was time for them, the fishermen, to show up. In the thick fog, Aod, who had been watching coldly from the sidelines. He glanced in the direction of the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others and sneered. Since the Ghost Emperor Holy Island wanted to be the fisherman, he would be the Oriole. However, Aod's gaze was cold. When he glanced at the surrounding void that was filled with thick fog, a strange look flashed across his eyes. He had a feeling that there was someone hiding in the dark. However, he had been sensing for a long time, but he didn't find anything. Aod wasn't sure if it was an illusion or if there was really someone hiding in the dark. Bloodthirsty Slaughter Prison. Sensing the white ancient seal condensed by the heaven origin divine dynasty and the others to suppress it, Aod was shocked. In the Black Sea's blood-red dragon eyes, there were countless mysterious blood-red dragon tattoos revolving around them. In the next moment, the blood fog swept out like a flash flood or a tsunami. The entire divine array was immediately covered by the blood fog. What's going on? The blood is out of control? Oh no. When Aod cast his divine ability, Bloodthirsty Slaughter Prison, the several Emperor Realm Masters who had been seriously injured were invaded by the blood mist before they could even react. In just a moment, the few Emperor Realm Masters exploded. Their exploding blood was crazily devoured by the blood and blood mist, and their souls were directly scattered. After Aod devoured the blood of the few Emperor Realm Masters, his aura skyrocketed. Be careful. This is the Bloodthirsty Slaughter Heavenly Dragon's divine ability. Don't touch the blood fog. The faces of the two top sovereigns of the Tianyuan divine dynasty also changed greatly because of the chaotic blood in their bodies. Although they had heard of the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon's innate ability before, this was the first time they had seen it. Who would have thought that the power of the bloodthirsty hell would be so terrifying? Several 6th grade and 7th grade Emperor Realm Masters were instantly detonated. Even they found it hard to control the blood in their bodies. If it had been a one-on-one battle, they would have definitely been hit. Roar. A dragon's roar shook the heavens, and a bloody mist rolled. The Black Sea, which was thousands of feet long, was like a blood-red torrent that flashed through the void filled with rolling blood mist. Rumble. A bloodthirsty killing intent burst out from the 9 heavens, and the 3 venerable sovereigns of the Tianyuan Shin dynasty were sent flying by the blood-red dragon tail. Poochie. However, the Black Sea was also pierced through by the white ancient seal. The dragon's scales shattered, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. However, as the blood mist surged in the void around them, Yi Zichen's eyes widened. Blood filled the wounds on Xian Hai's body. His flesh and blood regenerated, and his injuries immediately healed. The blood mist of the bloodthirsty purgatory had astonishing healing powers for the Black Sea. Sacrificial God Seal. The 2 top venerable sovereigns of the Tianyuan Shin dynasty looked at each other, and each summoned a mysterious divine seal. The 2 ancient seals flew out of their hands and merged into the divine array. Swish, 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 swish. White light seals condensed and fell from the sky like a meteor shower, shattering the void. The blood mist surging in the void was constantly annihilated by the white light seals. The wounds on the Black Sea, which was thousands of feet long, continued to increase, and his flesh continued to explode. His huge body made him an excellent target at this time. Even with the recovery speed of the bloodthirsty purgatory's blood mist, it could not keep up. Under the storm-like attacks, Xian Hai's injuries became more and more serious. Even though Xian Hai launched a crazy and brutal attack, seriously injuring and killing several venerable sovereigns of the Tianyuan Shin dynasty. However, the situation did not change. The 2 top venerable sovereigns were the real key. The divine seals they took out just now were not real divine weapons, but their power was far beyond that of Emperor artifacts. As the battle dragged on, Xian Hai's situation became worse. Bang! Finally, Xian Hai's head was bombarded by the divine seals. The dragon horns on his head exploded, and the thorny dragon scales shattered. Xian Hai was seriously injured, and the dragon scales on his body dimmed significantly. Even his berserk and bloodthirsty aura had become weak. This is our chance. The eyes of the 2 top venerable sovereigns of the Tianyuan Shin dynasty suddenly lit up, and they quickly formed seals. From the ancient divine array, a beam of white divine light fell onto Xian Hai's dragon head. Xian Hai, who had been struggling, stiffened as his dragon soul was suppressed. Do it? The moment the dragon's soul was suppressed, the two top venerable sovereigns immediately ordered the skinny old man. The skinny old man, whose aura was chaotic, had long been ready. His figure flashed, and he appeared above Xian Hai's dragon head. With a move of his right hand, the white light condensed into a seal, and he was about to completely detain Xian Hai's dragon soul. Swish! But at this moment, a black blade filled with ghost chi broke through the air. The skinny old man, whose face was filled with ecstasy, was caught off guard and was sent flying while vomiting blood. Who is it? The people of the Tian Yuan Shin dynasty, who originally thought that victory was in their hands, were shocked. Everyone's expression changed when they saw this sudden turn of events. They didn't expect that someone would make a move at this critical moment. Swish! Swish! As the black blade appeared, one figure after another appeared in the air and rushed toward the black sea that was being suppressed. This fluctuation. It's the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. Damn it! The eyes of the two top venerable sovereigns of the Tian Yuan Shin dynasty suddenly turned gloomy and cold. They had paid a huge price to suppress Xian Hai, who had turned into a murderous heavenly dragon. But the Ghost Emperor Holy Island wanted to take advantage of them. How could there be such a good thing? Swish! 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 The white divine light that was originally suppressing Xian Hai's dragon soul disappeared. It was replaced by the white light seal that had previously injured Xian Hai. It exploded like a meteor shower again. The terrifying aura seemed to want to kill all the people of the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. The other venerable sovereigns of the Tian Yuan Shin dynasty also rushed out crazily with murderous intent. Even though the Ghost Emperor Holy Island was a top force in the central continent, they couldn't tolerate such a sneak attack. Those white light seals were enough to kill high-level venerable sovereigns and severely injure top venerable sovereigns. When they came into contact with the people of the Tian Yuan Shin dynasty, not only did they not cause any injuries, but they also continued to increase their strength. Form the array. 3 ghosts devour the heavens. The people of the Ghost Emperor Holy Island weren't surprised by the reaction of the people of the Tian Yuan Shin dynasty. After they appeared, they immediately formed the array, and a ghastly ghost chi filled the air. In an instant, a dark and evil ancient array was formed in the ancient divine array. In the ancient array, there were 3 huge ferocious evil ghost divine seals. They were arranged in the position of the 3 yuan and exuded a monstrous aura. Chapter 481. Bang! Bang! The storm-like white light seals completely disappeared after they crashed into the pitch-black ancient formation. The 3 ferocious evil ghost divine seals in the ancient array opened their huge mouths as if they were alive. Mysterious ghost chi vortexes appeared in the mouths of the 3 evil ghost divine seals. The white light seals that continuously bombarded him were completely devoured by the 3 ghost seals, leaving not even a single trace behind. As for the Emperor Realm Masters from the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty, they rushed forward. Before they could get close to the black ancient array, they were intercepted by the Ghost Emperor Holy Island. The Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty had just suffered a great battle. Although he was not completely exhausted, his combat strength had already been greatly reduced. The Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others had been conserving their strength. At this moment, the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty's people were immediately suppressed. There was no way to break through the Ghost Emperor Holy Island's defense. The 2 top emperors from the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty were extremely upset when they saw this scene. Such a targeted defense. Apparently, the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others had watched the battle between Bloodthirsty and the Heavenly Dragon from beginning to end. However, although they were angry, they did not stop attacking. However, the white light seals that originally filled the sky had undergone a change. They turned into beams of light that penetrated the black ancient array and accurately hit the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and the others. Puff, puff. This sudden change caught the Ghost Emperor Holy Island a little off guard. 3 high-level emperors and 8 fifth-grade emperors were hit, and their bodies and emperor souls were sealed. The emperors from the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty seized the opportunity to kill them on the spot with violent Tao power. This greatly boosted the morale of the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty's people, and their attacks were extremely fierce. The top emperors from the Ghost Emperor Holy Island were about to join forces to suppress Xian Hai, who had regained his freedom. At this moment, when they saw the 3 high-level emperors die, their eyes immediately became a little gloomy. They only had 12 high-level emperors with them on this trip. Now that 3 high-level emperors had died, it was a huge blow to their strength. If they continued to die like this, it would be difficult for them to leave the ancient Desolation Land successfully even if they captured Xian Hai. Therefore, when they saw more and more white light penetrating the ancient array, they no longer cared about the Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty. They couldn't care less about attacking the Black Sea. With a wave of their right hands, black array flags appeared one after another. The black flag flew into the sky and blended into the pitch-black ancient town. It caused the pitch-black ancient town to be covered by a layer of mysterious light. That mysterious light shield seemed to have the power to counter divine light. The white divine light was completely absorbed after coming into contact with it. When the Heavenly Yuan Divine Dynasty's sovereigns saw this, they immediately used their trump cards to attack the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island. The Ghost Emperor Holy Island countered with tit-for-tat attacks. While dealing with the Tian Yuan Shin Dynasty's attack, the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island's preparations to capture Bloodthirsty Sky Dragon were completed. Among them, there were 2 top-notch sovereigns who had joined forces with 10 sovereigns above Grade 5. They formed a sovereign grand array, trapping the Black Sea in the middle. During the confrontation between the 2 sects, the Black Sea had swallowed the blood of the 4 high-level sovereigns. More than half of the numerous bloody holes on the enormous dragon body had already healed. His originally weak aura had clearly become much stronger. Although he was trapped in the siege of the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island's sovereigns. However, the Black Sea's bloodthirsty eyes were extremely cold and did not waver at all. Hand seal. The 2 top-notch sovereigns from the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island quickly formed hand seals and attacked without any hesitation. Immediately, a cloud of ghost chi that could make one's soul tremble appeared. The 10 sovereigns above Grade 5 attacked one after another. Streams of ghost chi and Tao arts were constantly injected into the cloud of ghost chi. One could clearly see that there were mysterious ghostly runes floating within the cloud of ghostly chi. Go! The top-notch sovereigns from the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island shouted in a low voice. The cloud of black ghost chi turned into hundreds of millions of wisps of mist and swept toward the Black Sea. In an instant, the Black Sea's 1,000-foot-long dragon body was completely covered by the black mist. The black mist frantically drilled into the bloodthirsty sky dragon's body. No matter how hard the bloodthirsty sky dragon struggled, it could not resist. As more and more black mist drilled into the bloodthirsty sky dragon's huge dragon eyes, the light dimmed. The bloodthirsty sky dragon's frenzied glow quickly dimmed, and it seemed to have become a little demented. The Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island's secret technique, the ghost controlling technique? Underground, Qin Yu had restrained his aura fluctuations. Like a wood or stone, he was attentively sensing the intense battle in the sky. He was familiar with the secret technique used by the 2 top-notch sovereigns from the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island. Rumor had it that it was a secret technique obtained from the ghost race that could enslave 10,000 ghosts. This secret technique fell into the hands of the Ghost Emperor Jin Tian and was modified into a secret technique that could directly control souls. Although the name of the secret technique did not change, its use was completely different. AOD should be unable to hold back and will attack soon. The dragon soul's voice came from the divine dragon ancient seal. Judging from the current battle, the Ghost Emperor's sacred island had the absolute upper hand. Not only did they resist the sovereigns from the heavenly Yuan divine dynasty, but they also suppressed the bloodthirsty sky dragon. If AOD did not attack soon, the Ghost Emperor's sacred island would succeed. Did he notice me? Qin Yu's eyes flashed slightly. As the descendant of the Dragon Emperor, AOD was not an ordinary top-notch sovereign. Although he had suffered 2 losses in his hands, his strength was unquestionable. If AOD had noticed his existence, it was possible that he had been holding back and not attacking whoosh. Just as Qin Yu had this thought, a sharp piercing sound broke through the air. Almost at the same time, the dark ancient array set up by the Ghost Emperor's sacred island and the others was shattered. The barrier around them was instantly shattered and pierced through. A figure appeared in front of Xian Hai as fast as a ghost. It was AOD. Heaven and earth freeze. After AOD appeared, he did not change at all and cast his source divine ability. Dark blue ice spread out from the heaven and earth freeze. In the blink of an eye, half of the sky was frozen. Whether it was the dark ancient array of the Ghost Emperor's sacred island or the ancient divine array of the heavenly Yuan divine dynasty, they were all frozen in an instant. Even the sovereigns from the 2 sects were affected greatly. Dozens of sovereigns were frozen on the spot. A top-notch sovereign in the dragon transformation realm? The sudden appearance of the heaven and earth freeze shocked the sovereigns from the Ghost Emperor's sacred island and the heavenly Yuan divine dynasty. Even the top-notch sovereigns from both sides were extremely shocked and immediately resisted with all their strength. AOD's strength was much stronger than Xian Hai's. AOD ignored the people from the Ghost Emperor's sacred island and the heavenly Yuan divine dynasty. After casting the heaven and earth freeze, he immediately prepared to attack Xian Hai. Ice freeze palm. AOD did not want to subdue Xian Hai, so he attacked with a killing move. A dark blue ice condensed into a palm with terrifying fluctuations. It was going to kill Xian Hai. They are not together? Stop him. The top-notch sovereigns from the heavenly Yuan divine dynasty and the Ghost Emperor's sacred island were shocked when they saw this. They cast all their divine abilities and secret techniques to stop AOD. They did not expect that AOD, who was also from the dragon transformation realm, would suddenly attack Xian Hai. Chapter 482. Golden Emperor's Spirit Kill Technique. 5 Divine Sword Slash. The 2 top sovereigns of the Tianyuan divine dynasty immediately used their secret techniques to break the ice and stop AOD from attacking. Great Een Ghost Curse. Demon Slaying Blade. Soul Tearing Hand. The 3 top sovereigns of the Ghost Emperor Holy Island were even more anxious. They reacted faster and attacked more fiercely. The news of bloodthirsty killing the sky dragon had already spread to the middle ground Saint Island. Even the Ghost Emperor might have heard about it. If they successfully brought bloodthirsty sky dragon back to the Saint Island, they would definitely be rewarded handsomely. However, if they failed, they would have to bear the Ghost Emperor's anger. There must be a reason why the Ghost Emperor cared so much about the shape-shifted dragon clan. Therefore, no matter what, they could not let AOD kill bloodthirsty sky dragon. Although AOD was also a shape-shifted dragon clan member. However, with AOD's strength, they were not confident that they could capture him. In comparison, bloodthirsty sky dragon was the best target. Therefore, they immediately attacked AOD. Their goal was to force AOD to retreat. If AOD did not dodge, even if he could kill Xian Hai, he would definitely be severely injured. Get lost. AOD's icy blue eyes were still cold in the face of the attack. There was no change in his expression. AOD's frozen palm, which was aimed at Xian Hai's head, struck down without hesitation. At this moment, a crystal-clear dark blue frost dragon seal appeared between AOD's eyebrows. ancient frost dragon inscriptions that could be seen with the naked eye spread out and turned into an ice crystal shield. The destructive attacks of the top sovereigns of the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty and the Ghost Emperor Holy Island were all blocked. Young master, long time no see. However, at this moment, a sinister and evil voice sounded. Aodi's eyes suddenly changed when he heard the voice. Boom! Just as Aodi reacted, a deafening sound was heard. Aodi's frozen palm was shattered by a terrifying force. Even Aod was sent flying a few hundred feet away. If it were not for the ice crystal shield, Aod would not have been sent flying. The sovereigns of the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island and the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty were all shocked by this sudden change. When they saw it, their eyes couldn't help but narrow. The dragon soul, which had been suppressed by the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island's ghost-controlling art, suddenly changed. Once the secret technique was completed, he would be able to completely control the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. At this time, the dragon eye, which had lost its spirit, actually regained its consciousness. More importantly, the Black Sea, which was originally 1,000 feet large and had transformed into the true form of the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon, gradually took on a human form. How is that possible? The dragon soul of the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon should have been sealed by the ghost-controlling art. No, this isn't the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon's dragon soul fluctuation. The three top sovereigns of the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island couldn't hide their shock when they saw this scene. Although the appearance of Xian Hai, who had taken human form, hadn't changed, Xian Hai's appearance was still the same. However, the aura on his body was already different. The bloodthirsty slaughter heavenly dragon's aura carried an intense bloodlust. However, the Black Sea now exuded an extremely evil aura from head to toe. Although there were many secret techniques in the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island, there were many evil Dao techniques. But compared to the evil aura that the Black Sea was emitting, it paled in comparison. This evil dragon Qi, the dragon soul and the dragon god Ancient Seal sensed the terrifying evil aura from the Black Sea and fell into deep thought. Primordial evil nether dragon. Qin Yu immediately sensed it. The primordial evil nether dragon was a dragon species that was comparable to Aod, who was an immemorial ice crystal dragon. In terms of bloodline, the primordial evil nether dragon was several times more noble than the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. Aod, who had stabilized his body, looked at the Black Sea that was surrounded by evil energy. The deep blue ice in his eyes turned into bone-chilling murderous intent. We haven't seen each other for 10 years. Young master, your cultivation has improved greatly. A cold smile appeared on the Black Sea's face. That pair of blood-red eyes had the look of a hunter staring at his prey. How dare a bastard call himself the Dragon Emperor? Aoba, do you think you can hide your lowly identity by seizing power? Aod walked toward the Black Sea with monstrous murderous intent. Every time he took a step, his aura would become several times more terrifying. The Black Sea was only controlled by Aoba's soul power and was not the real Aoba. Even so, the murderous intent in Aod's heart could not be suppressed. Young master, this is no longer the era where thousands of races submitted to our ancestor. So, whether you are a bastard or a bastard, if you want to sit on the throne, you must have enough strength. You were expelled from the clan not because you were framed by me. It was because you were not strong enough, not ruthless enough, and could not suppress others. The Black Sea chuckled. His chuckle was so eerie that it sent chills down people's spines. Yes, I was not ruthless enough back then. That's why I was framed by you. But now, it is not 10 years ago. Aod's murderous intent surged, and ice filled the air. The ice that appeared this time froze the entire void, and its power multiplied. The faces of the people from Ghost Emperor Holy Island and Heavenly Yuan Spirit Dynasty changed drastically. They immediately protected their Emperor Realm Masters and retreated. The power of Aod's divine ability was completely different from before. They did not want to be implicated. Anyway, the battle between Aoba and Aod would only benefit them. Fire burn! The Black Sea looked at the phoenix shadow in the depths of the immortal phoenix stream and formed a seal with his hands. Immediately, a pitch-black flame burned in his eyes that contained a surging sea of blood. The black flame spread out from his eyes and burned the void. The all-encompassing deep blue ice and the eerie and evil black flames clashed in the air. The two collided and annihilated each other. White fog billowed out. "Have you completely refined the Abyss Dark Flame?" Aod's gaze became colder. The Abyss Dark Flame was the Dragon Emperor's dragon flame. It was born together with the ancient ice crystal. So, to a certain extent, the two came from the same source. It was difficult to distinguish their power. Destroy! Aod's hands changed. The ice dragon scale between his eyebrows shone and a cold light pierced through the sky. The deep blue ice and the pitch-black flames that collided with each other were both crushed. Poochie! The sound of flesh being pierced was heard. A thumb-sized bloody hole appeared in the Black Sea's heart. The flesh and bones in his body were frozen. "I'm no match for him in my current state. I can only retreat." Black flames burned within the body of the heavily injured Black Sea, melting the ice crystals. At the same time, a thick blood-red light appeared on his body. Trying to run? Aod saw through Black Sea's intention and his gaze became colder. The terrifying primordial ice crystals swept over again, trying to completely freeze the Black Sea. Blood void escape. Black Sea's hands moved. A black ancient talisman turned into a black sea of fire and blocked the ice that swept over. The moment the ancient talisman appeared, a blood-red light flashed and Black Sea used a secret technique to escape hundreds of miles away. Chapter 483. Dragon Emperor Ancient Power. Seeing this, Aod's eyes flashed fiercely. He punched out, and a deafening dragon roar sounded. Aod's fist exuded an aura that contained Supreme Emperor Aura. A blue and black fist radiance blasted through the void like a shooting star. The ancient talisman Sea of Fire that Xian Hai had cast was broken by the fist radiance, and it instantly arrived behind Xian Hai. Blood void escape, extreme flash. Xian Hai's eyes narrowed, and the blood-red light around him intensified. In the next instant, 3 blood-red lights flashed in the void. After the 3 blood-red lights flashed, Xian Hai dodged the fist radiance formed by the Dragon Emperor Ancient Power. "The next time we meet, I'll kill you." Xian Hai, who had moved 1,000 miles away, turned back and looked coldly at Aod. He moved his right hand and made a throat-slitting gesture. Before he finished speaking, Xian Hai's body flashed with blood-red light, and he flashed again. Aod's face grew colder and colder. He immediately chased after the Black Sea at an extremely fast speed. Seal! Just as Xian Hai was about to escape, the void suddenly became like the surface of the water. Ripples appeared and intertwined with each other. The entire void became chaotic and distorted. This power, Aod, who was chasing after Xian Hai, immediately stopped in the void, as if he had fallen into a swamp. Aod was no stranger to this power that could affect the entire void. It was not the first time he had sensed it. No wonder he had felt that someone was hiding in the dark. He had thought that it was an illusion, but now it seemed that he had been too hasty. Space-time power? Xian Hai's face changed. He could feel it more clearly. The space-time energy was like thousands of strands of invisible airflow that completely wrapped around him. No matter how hard he struggled, he could not escape. Obviously, the power here was completely targeted at him. There's someone else hiding? The sovereigns from the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty and Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island had ugly expressions. They had been fighting for their lives, but they did not expect that there was more than one person hiding behind them. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Almost at the same time that the space-time power appeared, ancient runes appeared in the void within 1,000 miles. Those talisman markings were connected to each other, and they faintly transformed into numerous ancient talismans. Those ancient runes quickly spread out and formed an ancient rune array that covered the sky. In addition to space-time energy, the ancient rune formation also contained killing intent, black light, lightning, flames, and divine power. Black Sea, who was trapped in the ancient array, immediately felt a bone-chilling killing intent. That killing intent was even more dangerous than Aode's. It's actually the five gods' heaven-subduing formation? The top sovereigns of the Ghost Emperor's sacred island were shocked when they saw the ancient rune array. The five gods' heaven-subduing formation was one of the immemorial divine formations. It was rumored that it had been lost since the immemorial era. Even Ghost Emperor Zhentian, who had entered the Tao through arrays, did not have the five gods' sky-subduing array. Just who was it that set up the five gods' heaven-subduing formation? Is he from the Ghost Emperor's sacred island or the Tianyuan Shin dynasty? Xian Hai looked at the extremely terrifying ancient symbol array and his gaze became increasingly solemn. Given the profundity of this ancient formation, the person who set it up must have had attainments in formation runes that were at least at the sovereign level. As a member of the Dragon Clan, Aod should not have such connections. The most likely possibility was that these two were the top superforces in the heaven domain. Of course, this guess was also because Aod had stopped in an instant and did not chase after him. If it was Aod's companion, he should have cooperated with him. Given the grudge between him and Aod would not have shown him any mercy if he had the chance. Aod did not make a move now, which could only mean that he did not know the identity of the person who set up the array. Swish! Just as Xian Hai was on guard, a dazzling divine light pierced through the void and blasted toward Xian Hai. The divine light was so powerful that it even tore the chaotic void that was enveloped by the space-time force. Break! Xian Hai, who was on full alert, pointed his finger. A finger surrounded by pitch-black flames shattered the dazzling divine light. After making a move, Xian Hai raised his eyebrows slightly and a trace of surprise flashed across his blood-red eyes. The fluctuations of this ancient rune array were so terrifying that it made his heart palpitate. However, the cultivation of the person who made the move was only comparable to an ordinary Emperor Realm master. It seemed that the person had just reached the Emperor Realm? Boom! The moment the divine light was neutralized, 100-foot-long purple lightning bolt turned into a ferocious purple dragon and pounced toward Xian Hai with bared fangs and brandished claws. Dragon clans? Innate divine ability? Xian Hai was stunned and could not believe it. The person who made the move just now had the aura of dragon blood. However, at most, he had the bloodline of the Dragon Clan. He was definitely a human cultivator. A human cultivator could master the Dragon Clan's innate divine ability? It's really him. When Aod saw the divine firmament world annihilation lightning, he immediately knew that his guess was right. The person who made the move in the dark was Qinyu. After confirming that it was Qinyu, Aod, who was about to beat him up, calmed down and watched calmly. In order to deal with Xian Hai, he had left many means in the outside world. Even though Xian Hai had escaped from the immortal Phoenix Stream and even left the primitive desolation ancient land, he also had a way to kill Xian Hai in the East Continent. Therefore, he wanted to take the opportunity to see. Was Qin Yu the Dragon God Emperor, who was said to be the strongest in the heaven domain thousands of years ago? The one who made all the dragons move to the outer realm? Although he had joined forces with Qin Yu to kill an Emperor Realm Master before, it was just an ordinary Emperor Realm Master. However, that was only for ordinary Emperor Realm Masters. The current Black Sea was different. With Aoba's soul power in his body, his strength was definitely at the peak of the Emperor Realm. If Qin Yu wanted to take him down, it would take a lot of effort. Over there, the dark and evil abyssal hellfire appeared again and blocked the divine firmament world annihilation lightning. This time, Xianhai also noticed Qin Yu's location. He glanced at the heavenly Yuan Divine Dynasty and Ghost Emperor Holy Island, who did not want to get involved in the battle. He directly used the Blood Void escape to where Qin Yu was. Bloodthirsty hell! As he rushed out, Xianhai's body was covered in blood. The billowing blood mist was like surging blood, with a monstrous bloodthirsty killing intent, covering half of the void. The place where Qin Yu was also covered by the blood mist. Swish! After the blood mist covered Qin Yu, the sound of a sharp blade cutting cloth was heard. It was Xianhai who had used a secret technique to condense a blood-red divine blade and directly cut Qin Yu in half. Dragon Qi? Xianhai was stunned again. Qin Yu, who had been cut in half by his secret technique, turned into wisps of dragon Qi. Oh no! But at this moment, Xianhai felt a chill run down his spine, and his face suddenly changed. Without thinking, he immediately wanted to use the blood void escape to avoid it. Swish! Swish! However, it was already too late. 5 rays of light fell from the sky from the ancient rune array, like 5 Shinran rivers. They imprisoned Xianhai in an instant, giving him no time to react and escape. Swish! Almost at the same time, the sound of flesh being pierced through was heard. The wisps of dragon Qi suddenly turned into a dragon claw and penetrated Xianhai's body. A ball of crystal-clear blood the size of a baby's fist condensed in the dragon claw. Chapter 484. Bang! The moment the crystal-clear blood condensed, the dragon claw collapsed and dissipated into dragon Qi. The ball of blood also disappeared along with the dissipation of the dragon aura. How could this be? Feeling the dragon blood source in his body disappear in an instant, Aohai was stunned. Xianhai stood there in a daze. His blood-red eyes were blank, and he couldn't react at all. The dragon claw just now had penetrated his body. But for an Emperor Realm Master, that level of injury wasn't fatal at all. What really shocked Xianhai was that, the moment the dragon claw penetrated his body, it took away the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon's dragon blood source. Even as a member of the dragon race, he had never heard of or seen such a shocking secret technique. Has the dragon blood source been taken away? Aodi's eyelids trembled slightly. Although he had seen Qin Yu take away Aoju's bloodline in the Battle of Evil Wind City. But seeing it again now, he was still extremely shocked. This was also the reason why Aod was still extremely wary of Qin Yu even though he had an agreement to form an alliance with him. He was very worried that if he wasn't careful, his dragon blood source would also be taken away by Qin Yu. In terms of combat strength, not to mention him, even Xianhai was far superior to Qin Yu. However, being strong in combat strength didn't mean that he could suppress Qin Yu. Just like now, Qin Yu had taken away Xianhai's dragon blood source with the power of the ancient array. Under Qin Yu's command, it didn't seem difficult for the weak to defeat the strong. Let's go! Qin Yu, who had obtained the dragon blood source, immediately broke through the void with joy in his eyes. The 5 gods heaven-subduing array was one of Qin Yu's strongest trump cards now. This ancient array not only contained the divine abilities of the 9 Nether Purgatory Dragon, Purple Thunder Divine Firmament Dragon, and Golden Flame Heaven Incinerating Dragon. There were also several strands of God's killing intent and ancient divine power. It was precisely because of this that Qin Yu could fight against a top Emperor Realm Master with his current cultivation. However, they were only able to resist it. They were unable to truly suppress it. Qin Yu had to rely on a sneak attack to extract the Black Sea's origins dragon blood. If they were to fight head-on, Qin Yu would not have a chance to succeed. Therefore, Qin Yu, who had succeeded, did not hesitate in the slightest and immediately prepared to leave. Qin Yu found it hard to deal with Black Sea and Aod alone. If the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island and the Tian Yuan Shen dynasty attacked together, Qin Yu would be in danger. The reason why the people from the two great factions didn't make a move was because of the two great factions. He was probably waiting for the battle between AOD and the Black Sea to end. Now that Qin Yu had reaped the benefits, he had become the target of public criticism. The people of the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island and the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty would no longer stand by and watch. Dragon Emperor God-slaying force. Black Sea reacted instantly. His blood-red eyes, which had become several times dimmer, surged with monstrous killing intent. If the origin bloodline was taken away, the Black Sea would be crippled. This naturally infuriated Aoba, who had always valued the Black Sea. When he came back to his senses, the evil black dragon tattoo between his eyebrows spread, and he broke free from the restraint of the five gods' sky-subduing formation. Then, he pointed his right hand in the air. His index finger exploded, and as the blood mist surged, it condensed into a dark evil force. The dark force pierced through the void and locked onto Qin Yu. Protect! Qin Yu's body turned cold. Knowing that he could not dodge, he immediately put up a defense. Within the five gods' sky-subduing formation, layers of spirit barriers appeared behind Qin Yu. But then, the sound of shattering could be heard. The spirit barriers formed by the five gods' sky-subduing formation cracked one after another. They could not stop the dark force for even a moment. Gotcha! Qin Yu's eyes narrowed. He formed a seal with both hands and was about to attack again. A dark blue chilling light suddenly appeared, traversing through the void and directly freezing that hidden force. It was AOD. Do they know each other? Black Sea's face darkened, and his killing intent became even more violent. Ice sealing heaven and earth. As he attacked, AOD had already rushed out with rolling eyes. The chaotic and distorted void was frozen inch by inch. Black Sea immediately fell into a desperate situation. There was nowhere to run. After the origin dragon blood was taken, Black Sea's combat strength immediately dropped by several levels. The power of the Abyss Hellfire could no longer burn the ancient ice crystals. It was suppressed by AOD. Attack! At this moment, the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island and the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty were just as Qin Yu had predicted. They had let bygones be bygones and joined forces at this moment, attacking from two different directions. One attacked AOD, while the other chased after Qin Yu. They had witnessed the entire battle just now. Naturally, they knew that the dragon blood that Qin Yu took was extremely important to Black Sea. Otherwise, Black Sea's combat strength would not have dropped so much. And for the dragon race, the most important blood was undoubtedly the origin dragon blood. 2 top-tier sovereigns and 8 high-level sovereigns. 5 gods sky-concealing formation. Looking at the emperors of the two sects who were rushing towards him, Qin Yu sneered and made a series of hand seals. Boom, 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 boom. 5 deafening explosions resounded in the thick fog. At this moment, the 5 gods' sky-concealing formation split into 5 ancient arrays. In the 5 ancient arrays, the ancient runes merged into one, as if they had turned into an ancient god, and came crashing down with a loud bang. The sovereigns of the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island and the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty had to defend themselves. Otherwise, with the power of the killing array, they would be seriously injured even if they did not die. Dragon Soul attack! Qin Yu's eyes were filled with killing intent as he shouted in his heart. Now that Black Sea was entangled with AOD, the two sovereigns had split their forces. To Qin Yu, this sort of situation was no longer that pressing. Although he could not suppress top-tier sovereigns, Qin Yu was confident that he could deal with high-level sovereigns and ordinary sovereigns. Time reversal. Space rend. In the Divine Dragon Ancient Seal, the Dragon Soul immediately used its Time Divine ability. In the void, space cracks appeared without warning. The sovereigns of the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island and the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty, who were defending against the 5 gods' sky-concealing formation, were immediately attacked. Swish! At the same time, with a flash of white light, the skeleton Ghost King, whose cultivation had reached the peak of the 4th grade sovereign realm, appeared. The sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Immediately, 3 sovereigns died under the cooperation of the Dragon Soul and the skeleton Ghost King. Although Qin Yu did not participate in the battle personally, he did not just stand by and watch, while controlling the 5 gods' sky-concealing formation to attack. One after another, the divine abilities and secret techniques of the Dragon Clan appeared one after another. A violent battle broke out immediately, and the sky shook violently. Not long after, more than 10 sovereigns of the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island and the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty died. Among them, there were 2 high-level sovereigns. This made the top-tier sovereigns of the 2 sects look ugly, and their attacks became more violent. While resisting the 5 gods' sky-concealing formation, they madly approached Qin Yu. On the other side, the battle between Aod and the Black Sea was gradually coming to an end. Even with the interference of the sovereigns of the Ghost Emperor's Sacred Island and the Tianyuan Divine Dynasty, Aod still had the absolute upper hand. The Black Sea had once again revealed the original body of the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon. Even so, he was still no match for Aod. The situation was getting more and more dangerous, and he could die at Aod's hands at any time. Whoosh whoosh. At this moment, an extremely terrifying hurricane came from the depths of the immortal Phoenix stream again, covering the sky and the earth. The hurricane that appeared this time was far more powerful than the previous 2. Even the Dragon Soul's time force that filled the void was directly dispersed. Chapter 485. A rumbling sound rang out. The 5 ancient arrays formed by the 5 gods' heaven-subduing array were directly shattered into dust by the oncoming hurricane. The Ghost Emperor Holy Island and Heavenly Yuan Shin Dynasty masters who were fighting were the first to bear the brunt of the hurricane and were directly swept away. Qin Yu, who did not participate in the battle, noticed it in time and immediately escaped by burrowing into the ground. The skeleton Ghost King was collected by the Dragon Soul in the Source Dragon World and returned to the Divine Dragon Ancient Seal. Aod, Xian Hai, and the other 2 emperors were also instantly engulfed by the hurricane. The originally frenzied battle situation was instantly dispersed. After burrowing underground for hundreds of miles, Qin Yu, who had completely restrained his aura, emerged from the ground. This hurricane appeared at such an inopportune time. The Dragon Soul appeared from the Divine Dragon Ancient Seal and released the skeleton Ghost King. If the Soul Force hurricane had not appeared, they would not have let any of the high-level emperors of the Ghost Emperor Holy Island and Heavenly Yuan Shin Dynasty live. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Qin Yu also felt a little regretful. But for him, the most important thing now was to refine the dragon blood, with the essence of the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon's source dragon blood. Qin Yu felt that this time, it should not be too big of a problem to break through to the Emperor realm. In the vast immortal Phoenix stream, he flew thousands of miles away. It was not until the huge Phoenix shadow was a little blurry that Qin Yu burrowed into the ground again. After laying down layers of barriers underground, Qin Yu entered the Divine Dragon Ancient Seal. This time, the bloodthirsty heavenly dragon's source dragon blood did not refine half of it like before. Now that the situation was getting more and more unstable, the most appropriate way was to let Qin Yu break through to the Emperor realm first. Today, he was lucky to have set up a trap in the dark and snatched the source dragon blood from the mouths of many tigers. But if his concealment was seen through, let alone snatching the source dragon blood, it might even be difficult to escape. Being surrounded by several top emperors was not something that could be completely resisted by just relying on an ancient array. From within the Divine Dragon Ancient Seal, a dragon roar filled with bloodthirsty and violent killing intent resounded. The origin dragon blood that had been unsealed by Qin Yu immediately transformed into a bloodthirsty heavenly dragon that roared at Qin Yu. The dragon clan's origin dragon blood basically had its own dragon spirit. The higher the level of the dragon's cultivation and bloodline, the more serious the dragon spirit in the origin dragon blood. Bloodthirsty heavenly dragon's cultivation had already reached the high-order emperor realm. Using the divine abilities of the dragon clan, he could even fight against a peak emperor master. Naturally, his origin dragon blood was extremely intelligent. Divine Dragon Ancient Seal, suppress! With a single thought from Qin Yu, a vast number of dragons descended. The Divine Dragon Ancient Seal was refined from the body of immortal Shinran. That was the only immortal grade dragon that Qin Yu had ever seen. However, the vast dragon might contained within his dragon body could suppress all the dragons in the world. The originally violent and bloodthirsty origin dragon blood of the bloodthirsty slaughter heavenly dragon immediately trembled. Whoosh! Whoosh! Streaks of dragon light appeared out of thin air in the Divine Dragon Ancient Seal. The bloodthirsty heavenly dragon's origin dragon blood was directly pierced through and turned into a vast sea of pure dragon blood. Immemorial Battle Dragon, refine! Qin Yu immediately used his cultivation technique to refine the dragon blood that was as vast as the sea into pure dragon energy and infuse it into his body. The Divine Dragon Ancient Seal suppressed the dragon blood and analyzed the divine abilities. The immemorial battle dragon art refined the dragon blood and evolved the cultivation. From a certain point of view, the Divine Dragon Ancient Seal was created by Qin Yu in order to complement the immemorial battle dragon technique. Rumble! As the vast dragon Qi entered his body, Qin Yu's cyan dragon vein trembled violently and frantically refined the dragon Qi into his body. The 75 branch dragon veins were also operating to the extreme at this moment, crazily plundering and devouring the dragon Qi. Qin Yu's cultivation was rapidly increasing at a speed that would shock anyone. Under the dragon soul's power of space and time passed slowly, while Qin Yu was hiding 1,000 miles deep underground and refining the dragon's blood. A riot was happening in the immortal Phoenix stream. With the appearance of the gigantic Phoenix shadow, all the strange beasts in the ancient desolate land gathered. There were even hundreds of strange beasts that had reached the Emperor realm. Such a huge army of strange beasts caused the major forces in the East continent to suffer heavy losses. Once the strange beasts discovered traces of foreign clans, they would immediately move. Whether it was the human race cultivators or the monster race cultivators, they would all be attacked. Whoosh! The thick fog broke open, and several figures appeared cautiously, looking around vigilantly. Where did Xin Feng go? These figures were Sun Guxing, Sun Jiuxiao, and the others from the Heavenly Imperial Palace. Their auras were obviously a little chaotic, and some of them were even weak. They looked as if they had just gone through a huge battle. Since his natal blood token is fine, he should not be in any danger. He must have gone into hiding. Even though they are worried, after taking a look at Qin Yu's life blood card, they are not very anxious. The strange beasts in the ancient desolate land are rioting. Something big must have happened in the depths of the immortal Phoenix stream. What should we do? Sun Jiuxiao looked at Sun Guxing. Qin Yu's safety was naturally very important. However, the goal of their trip was the primordial divine phoenix bone. They had to get it. They had already found 2 of the 4 great divine herbs. As long as they got the primordial divine phoenix bone, they would only have the last immortal spirit herb. Ever since they learned that the primordial divine power was very likely to be controlled and suppressed by the extraterritorial demon race, Shi Tiangang, Sun Guxing, and the other descendants of the 3 sovereigns sped up their refining of the immortal emperor pill. This was because they found that the primordial divine power that had fused with their true essence was extremely difficult to expel and purify. If they forcefully removed it, it would cause great damage to their cultivation. Given the current situation of the spiritual state and the heavenly domain, Even if they knew that the primordial divine power had hidden dangers, they did not dare to do anything that would harm their cultivation. Once the top sovereigns like them damaged their cultivation and regressed, they would be devoured by the wolves, tigers, and leopards of the spiritual state before the extraterritorial demon race took action. I'll go find Shinfeng. You take some people to the depths of the immortal phoenix stream and see what's going on. Remember, other than the primordial divine phoenix bone, don't get involved in any disputes. After pondering for a moment, Sun Gushing looked at the huge phoenix shadow and slowly said. Along the way, they saw several top forces of the East continent. The primordial beasts were also rioting because of this. Without a doubt, something big must have happened in the depths of the immortal phoenix stream. Perhaps a huge opportunity had appeared. If it were any other time, they would definitely fight for it. However, obtaining the primordial divine phoenix bone was the most important thing now. The primordial divine phoenix bone was also a rare divine herb. However, it was not that attractive to attract so many major forces. Therefore, if they only wanted the primordial divine phoenix bone, their chances of success were much higher. Okay. Sun Jiuxian nodded and immediately left with the sovereigns and elders. Sun Gushing held the spirit compass in his hand and continued to divine Qin Yu's location. The more he divined, the more surprised Sun Gushing's eyes became. This was because Qin Yu's aura appeared in several directions at the same time. With such a method, Qin Yu was most likely setting up a bewildering formation in order to escape. It was also because of this that Sun Gushing and the others had been looking for Qin Yu. Chapter 486. However, even with his divination methods, he was unable to accurately divine Qin Yu's exact location. This made Sun Gushing even more curious about Qin Yu. This curiosity had already been born during the battle of the Heavenly Imperial Palace. Because of this, Sun Gushing had even specially divined Qin Yu's fate after the battle. However, he was unable to deduce Qin Yu's origin, nor was he able to divine his future. There was only a piece of chaos, a piece of hazy chaos. Has he been caught? On a certain mountain peak in the immortal phoenix stream, AOD sneered after sensing for a moment. If that's the case, AOD glanced at the huge phoenix silhouette, then looked towards the depths of the immortal phoenix stream. Could it really be the immortal soul left behind by the immortal phoenix? After pondering for a moment, AOD's figure flashed and rushed into the dense fog in the depths of the immortal phoenix stream. In the depths of the immortal phoenix stream, an ancient divine palace floated in the void filled with vast divine might. Above the divine palace, there was a dark purple silhouette that was 10 feet tall. This purple silhouette was the primordial immortal phoenix. A vast and terrifying divine might was emitted from the dark purple immortal phoenix, suppressing the 9 heavens and 10 earths. The phoenix silhouette that covered the sky above the immortal phoenix stream was formed by the divine might of the immortal phoenix. As expected of an immortal beast, even without intelligence, the immortal soul still has such powerful battle strength. In front of the immortal phoenix silhouette, there was a figure confronting each other. That person was holding a pitch-black ancient sword, and his entire body was covered with sword aura. The sword might was terrifying. If Qin Yu was here, he would definitely be shocked. This person was actually the Sky Burier Sword Immortal that Xing Luo had chased after. However, compared to the spiritual state war ranking, the Sky Burier Sword Immortal's transformation could be said to be earth-shattering. The most obvious difference was that Heaven-Burying Sword Immortal's cultivation had already reached the 8th grade Emperor realm. One must know that the Sky Burier Sword Immortal was only a rank 1 martial emperor during the spiritual state war ranking. If such a terrifying cultivation speed were to spread, who knew how many people would be shocked? Of course, if people were to know that the Sky Burier Sword Immortal had fused with the true power of an ancient immortal, then it would be more than shocking. all the experts in the 9 continents of the heaven domain would take action. One must know that the ancient immortal force was the strongest force in the history of the Qin domain. Many venerable sovereigns believed that whether it was the Tao of the ancient gods or the martial Tao of the true essence, the Tao of the ancient gods and the martial Tao of the true essence. In the end, all roads lead to the same destination. In other words, once one reached the peak of the true essence martial way, one would be able to cross the legendary immortal way. Because of this, countless venerable sovereigns would desperately study the power of ancient immortals after their cultivation had reached a bottleneck. Many ancient emperors who were nearing the end of their lifespans would risk their lives to refine ancient immortal energy. In the end, no one had ever succeeded. Basically, all of them would end up with their souls scattered. One could imagine what kind of shock it would cause in the heaven region if the news of heaven-burying sword immortal were to spread. In the area around the ancient divine palace and heaven-burying sword immortal, hundreds of violent emperor realm exotic beasts were madly attacking a pale white barrier. Although the pale white barrier looked extremely fragile and could be easily shattered, it was still extremely powerful. But in reality, it was extremely sturdy under the attack of hundreds of Emperor Realm mutants. No matter how hard the mutants attacked, they could not break through it. Among the exotic beasts, there were also human race cultivators appearing from time to time. Judging from the attire of those venerable sovereigns, they were all top forces in the East Continent. Dragon Tiger Divine Sect, Dark Island, High Heaven Sect, even the Heavenly Yuan Divine Dynasty and Ghost Emperor Holy Island, which had suffered heavy casualties, had arrived. While the hundreds of exotic beasts were attacking the pale white barrier, they were also madly attacking the human race cultivators. Whether it was outside or inside the barrier, an earth-shattering battle broke out. Around the divine palace, in the inner world of the barrier, the golden Saint Lion was walking in the void. Once any part of the barrier became unstable, the golden Saint Lion would immediately attack. Ancient beast seals were sent into the spirit formation, causing it to become even more solid. But most of the time, the golden Saint Lion was watching the battle between heaven-burying sword immortal and the immortal phoenix shadow. The battle between the two sides had been going on for more than 14 hours, but there was still no winner. The golden Saint Lion looked at the immortal phoenix shadow with a strong yearning in its eyes. Although the golden Saint Lion was an immemorial sacred beast, its ancestor had not become an immortal beast. Therefore, regardless of whether it was an immemorial sacred beast or an exotic beast, they all had an instinctive yearning for immortal beasts. But unfortunately, just like how there were ancient immortals in the human race, there were very few immortal beasts. Even the pure descendants of immortal beasts could not become immortal beasts. Chirp! Another crisp and melodious phoenix cry resounded through the 9 heavens. With the immortal phoenix shadow as the center, the void within a radius of 10,000 miles was swept by terrifying sound wave. The sound waves were so powerful that it seemed as if huge waves had been set off in the void. Whether it was the exotic beasts that were madly attacking the barrier or the Emperor Realm venerable sovereigns of the human race, they were all under great pressure. At this moment, all of them were suffering from a huge impact and were desperately resisting. Many of them were even seriously injured. After the sound waves were set off, they turned into a violent storm and swept across the entire immortal phoenix stream. Previously, the cultivators and exotic beasts in the immortal phoenix stream had been hit by the sound wave. Bury the heavens / Sky Burier Sword deity's gaze was extremely sharp. He moved his right hand and the pitch-black ancient sword slashed out. A several hundred feet wide spatial crack appeared and swallowed the storm like hurricane. Rumble! The phoenix cry sounded again. The immortal phoenix shadow turned into a beam of purple light and attacked with a purple divine light. Sky Burier Sword deity focused his gaze and met it head-on. His body was covered in a faint golden light. The two of them started to go all out. A shocking battle broke out and large parts of the sky collapsed. So powerful! Outside the barrier, the exotic beasts and cultivators were shocked when they saw the battle between Sky Burier Sword Deity and the immortal Phoenix Shadow. They could understand why the immortal Phoenix Shadow had such combat strength. After all, the immortal Phoenix was once a true immortal beast. However, Sky Burier Sword Deity, who was only a high-level Dharch, was comparable to the immortal Phoenix Shadow. They found it hard to believe. That energy fluctuation, it seems a little like the power of an ancient immortal. It can't be. The top thearchs of the Ghost Emperor Holy Island, Tianyuan Divine Dynasty, Longhu Divine Sect, and other major forces were shocked. After recovering from the shock, they all sensed the faint golden light on Sky Burier Sword Deity's body. It was the legendary power of an ancient immortal. This discovery caused the shock in their eyes to turn into deep horror. They were all top thearchs and came from major forces. Naturally, they had come into contact with the power of an ancient immortal. There was already someone in the heavenly domain who could refine the power of an ancient immortal. This thought caused their blood to boil after their initial shock. If they could capture him, of course, with the combat strength displayed by Sky Burier Sword Deity, even if they attacked together, they would be courting death. Chapter 487. As the eyes of the Peak Sovereigns burned with passion, the violent battle continued. Both the Sky Burier Sword Deity and the immortal Phoenix's Shadow went all out. One had the soul of an immortal beast, while the other had the inheritance of an ancient immortal. The battle between the two was so intense that it was hard to tell who was the winner. As time passed, the aftermath of the battle became more and more terrifying. The pale white barrier began to tremble violently. The ancient beasts and human sovereigns who had gathered outside the barrier. They had unknowingly retreated hundreds of miles. It couldn't be helped. The shock waves from the battle between the two sides were simply too frightening. The Golden Holy Lion, who was inside the barrier, if not for the protection of the Sky Burier Sword Deity's ancient immortal power, it would have died. The soul of the immortal Phoenix. The ancient immortal power. Several figures flew over from the distance, sizing up the Sky Burier Sword Deity and the immortal Phoenix's Shadow. Those people were the sovereigns of the Sky Emperor Palace led by Sun Jiuxiao. They had spent a lot of time searching for Qin Yu, so they had not been involved in the battle between the ancient beasts. When they saw the immortal Phoenix's Shadow and the Sky Burier Sword Deity, they were stunned. Suddenly, a high-level sovereign seemed to have noticed something and stared at the Sky Burier Sword Deity. He seems to be Yi Xiaoning? Seeing that Sun Jiuxiao and the others were looking at him, the high-level martial monarch asked uncertainly, Yi Xiaoning? The prince of the heavenly spirit god dynasty? Sun Jiuxiao was slightly startled when he heard that, but he immediately remembered. Although he was a peak sovereign, he was in charge of the intelligence work of the Sky Emperor Palace. He naturally knew about Yi Xiaoning, who was competing with Qin Yu on the spiritual state battle ranking. Previously, he had been shocked by the Sky Burier Sword Deity's ancient immortal power, so he did not react. High-level sovereign, ancient immortal power, this kid, could it be? Sun Jiuxiao stared at the Sky Burier Sword Deity. There had never been a genius in the history of the Qin realm. To be able to raise his cultivation from a rank 1 martial emperor to a rank 8 sovereign in such a short period of time. Even if he had a heaven-defying opportunity to fuse and refine the ancient immortal power, this was too great. A reincarnator? A strange look flashed across Sun Jiuxiao's eyes. The possibility of this happening to Yi Xiaoning was the greatest. Such an existence actually appeared in the Qin realm. Somewhere in the void, AOD, who had just arrived, looked at Sky Burier Sword Immortal with interest. It could be said that AOD had grown up in the extraterritorial realm, so she had a certain understanding of the extraterritorial devil race's experts. Currently, The overall strength of the 9 prefectures of the Heaven Realm and the extraterritorial demon clan were on par. It was also because of this that the Heaven Domain and the Outer Realm had always been in a state of balance. However, if the top experts of the Qian Domain were able to control the power of the ancient immortals, they would be able to do so. Then, the balance of the scales would be broken. Right at this moment, the expression of Sky Burial's Sword Immortal, who had been battling the immortal Phoenix Phantom, suddenly changed slightly. You noticed it so quickly? You're really like a lingering spirit. Sky Burial's Sword Immortal frowned slightly. After pondering for a moment, a fierce look flashed through his eyes that were as sharp as swords. Soul Slayer! Sky Burial's Sword Immortal moved his right hand, and the pitch-black ancient sword rose into the air and turned into a giant sword that was thousands of feet long. Then, Sky Burial's Sword Immortal formed a sword seal and pointed out with his finger. A black shadow flashed, and the giant sword that was thousands of feet long slashed through the void. Puff! A huge hole appeared in the immortal Phoenix Phantom that was surrounded by purple divine light. The immortal Phoenix Phantom was severely injured, and its originally powerful and terrifying aura became weak and chaotic. Whoosh! However, the immortal Phoenix Phantom's huge wings also flapped when it was hit, and a hurricane raged. Sky Burial's Sword Immortal was sent flying, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. If it weren't for the fact that the faint golden light on his body had become more intense when he was attacked, he would have been injured. Sky Burial's Sword Immortal probably wouldn't have just been lightly injured. Slash! Although he was injured, Sky Burial's Sword Immortal's fighting spirit was rising. As soon as he stabilized his body, he controlled his sword and slashed again. This time, he directly slashed the immortal Phoenix Phantom into 2. A purple pearl the size of a palm appeared from within the immortal Phoenix's shadow. One could vaguely see that within the purple divine pearl was a vast and desolate world. A vivid and lifelike immortal phoenix was dancing in the sky. That extremely terrifying divine aura was emitted by that immortal phoenix. Immortal Phoenix Heart? The eyes of those ancient beasts immediately turned red when they saw the purple divine pearl, and they rushed out like a flood. Seal! Joy flashed in Sky Burial's Sword Immortal's eyes. With a flash of sword light, the purple divine pearl was sealed. Let's go! Without hesitation, Sky Burial's Sword Immortal landed on the golden holy lion and was about to break through the void. Swish! 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 But at this moment the void split open like water, and 5 figures shot out like arrows. Vast and terrifying divine aura pressed down like the heavens, completely suppressing this part of the void. At this moment, the rampaging ancient beasts froze in the void, unable to hide the fear in their eyes. Because the aura emitted by those 5 figures was far more powerful than that of a peak sovereign. That is, Sun Jiuxiao could not hide the shock in his eyes when he saw those 5 people. Mad Dragon Sovereign, Supreme Shining, Earth Fiend Ancient Emperor, Dragon Tiger Sovereign, God Emperor Tian Yuan. Sun Jiuxiao was not the only one who was shocked. All the human sovereigns present were shocked by the appearance of those 5 people. Because those 5 people's cultivation had surpassed that of a peak sovereign, reaching the divine emperor realm. It could be said that those 5 people stood at the peak of the martial Tao in the sky domain. This was especially true for the Mad Dragon Sovereign, who was known as the strongest sovereign in the heaven domain. The appearance of these 5 extraordinary existences immediately suppressed the entire scene. 5 divine emperors? Who the hell is this guy? In the void, Aodi's expression turned serious when he saw Mad Dragon Sovereign and the other 4. 5 people? Sky Burial's Sword Immortal, who was about to let the golden holy lion fly away, turned serious. He thought that only Xing Luo had come. He did not expect that Xing Luo had invited 4 divine emperors to help him. If it was in his previous life, Sky Burier Sword Immortal would not be afraid of 5 divine emperors. But now, the situation was a little grim. Sky Burier Sword Immortal jumped down from the back of the golden holy lion and kept it with a wave of his sleeve. I told you, you can't run away. Xing Luo stepped down from the sky and stared coldly at Sky Burier Sword Immortal through the barrier. Supreme Shen Ing, Earth Fiend Ancient Emperor, Dragon Tiger Sovereign, and God Emperor Tian Yuan spread out. In an instant, the 5 of them surrounded Sky Burier Sword Immortal. Do you think you can do anything to me just because you called 4 brats? Sky Burier Sword Immortal glanced at Xing Luo and the other 4. His gaze became colder and sharper. 4 brats? Sky Burier Sword Immortal did not hide his voice. Hearing his words, the sovereigns of the various forces felt as if thunder had exploded in their ears. Their thoughts froze at that moment. Sky Burier Sword Immortal called the peak divine emperors of the Sky Domain 4 brats. Chapter 488. Brat? Sun Jiuxiao's eyelids twitched. How could he address 5 divine Emperor Realm Masters in such a tone? Obviously, his previous guess was most likely correct. The Sky Burier Sword Immortal was really a reincarnator. This person, is he really the buried Heaven Sword Immortal who entered the immortal-seeking ancient road? Supreme Shen Ing, Earth Fiend Ancient Emperor, Dragon Tiger Emperor, and Emperor God Tian Yuan were all surprised. Before this, they were still doubtful of Xing Luo's words. But now, it seemed like Xing Luo was not lying. This made their eyes burn with passion. Whether it was buried Heaven Sword Immortal entering the immortal-seeking ancient road or mastering the power of the ancient immortals, they were all excited. This caused them to be extremely tempted, and they were unable to conceal their excitement. They had been trapped in the divine Emperor realm for countless years. They had always wanted to cross the 9th level of the martial path, but unfortunately, they could not find the way. The oldest among them, Earth Fiend Ancient Emperor, already had thoughts of entering the immortal-seeking ancient road. Now, buried Heaven Sword Immortal, who had entered the immortal-seeking ancient road, had returned and mastered the power of the ancient immortals. To them, this was like having a guiding light. Naturally, they were excited. Now, it's no longer your era, Xing Luo said coldly. With a slap, a dragon's roar resounded. 100 feet long ancient dragon appeared. Boom! The ancient dragon roared, as if it was suppressing the entire sky. A deafening explosion sounded. That was the pale white barrier that hundreds of great desolate mutated beasts had not been able to break through even with their frenzied attacks. Under the attack of the ancient dragon, cracks appeared on the barrier. Finally, it exploded. Seeing this scene, the human sovereigns and exotic beasts of the primitive territory were all shocked. No wonder he was known as the strongest existence in the heavenly region. His strength was so strong that it could scare people to death. Whoosh! At this moment, a figure rushed into the sky. It was so fast that people could not see it clearly. Dragon Tiger Immortal Sky. The Dragon Tiger Emperor, the sect master of the Dragon Tiger Divine Sect, attacked. A lifelike Shinran and a majestic divine tiger rose into the sky and blocked the figure. This was the secret technique of the Dragon Tiger Divine Sect, the Dragon Tiger Immortal Sky Technique. Die! With a cold shout, buried Sky Sword Immortal shook his wrist and 2 sword rays as bright as stars appeared. A deafening sound of collision rang out as the Shinran god and tiger were pierced through by the sword light. Even the soul of the immortal phoenix had been slain by Burier Heaven Sword Immortal. This dragon and tiger, which were derived from a secret technique, were naturally easy to deal with. Godly Eagle Destruction. Heaven Origin Spirit Palm. Supreme Shen Ing and Emperor God Tian Yuan flew up to the sky and their vast Dao techniques shattered the firmament. Sky Burier Sword Immortal had just shattered Dragon Soul God Emperor's secret skill when he was once again locked onto by the secret skill. He was unable to break free. heaven burying 3 swords. The sword might of the Sky Barrier's sword immortal was overwhelming. 3 streaks of sword light appeared, as if they were about to split the world apart. Heavenly cycle evil transformation. The Earth Fiend Ancient Emperor took the opportunity to strike. He opened his arms and the power of Tao surged around him. Immediately, with him as the center, beams of starlight with a strong murderous aura appeared. There were a total of 72 beams. If one were to look carefully, they would be able to discover that. The 72 beams of starlight were arranged according to the positions of the 72 Earth Fiends, just like a cage. At that moment, Sky Barrier's sword immortal was sealed within the Earth Fiend's star. Mad Dragon dominates the world. Xing Luo did not stay idle. The dragon might of the ancient Mad Dragon that he had manifested was even stronger, causing the void to tremble. This time, it was different from the spiritual state fighting ranking board. Xing Luo's cultivation was no longer suppressed. The overwhelming pressure was like the descent of an ancient demon that could destroy everything in the world. Forbidden skill of Xiantian, Chaos. Sky Barrier's sword immortal, who was surrounded by enemies, sheathed his ancient sword and formed a strange seal with his hands. His right hand pointed to the sky and his left hand pointed to the ground. A unique fluctuation was emitted from Sky Barrier's sword immortal. Swoosh. In the next moment, the Earth Fiend Ancient Emperor's Earth Fiend star pierced through Sky Barrier's sword immortal like 10,000 arrows. The ancient Mad Dragon that Xing Luo had manifested also arrived and covered Sky Barrier's sword immortal. Although the attack had hit Sky Barrier's sword immortal squarely. However, the Earth Fiend Ancient Emperor and Xing Luo raised their eyebrows slightly as a strange look flashed across their eyes. Sky Barrier's sword immortal's body had become so illusory that it was almost transparent. It was as if it was just an illusion. They could vaguely see that the void around Sky Barrier's sword immortal had become slightly distorted. There was a mysterious flow of air that was surging. However, the mysterious flow of air was not the power of space. The divine powers and secret skills that they had used to attack Sky Barrier's sword immortal had completely missed. Divine prohibition. Xing Luo's eyes changed slightly as an ancient banner appeared. The ancient banner turned into a cloud and flew out as a vast sacred light shone down. The space where Heaven's Barrier's sword immortal was completely sealed off. Sky Barrier's sword immortal, whose body had become illusory and transparent, was shrouded by the sacred light and slowed down for a moment. However, it quickly faded until it finally disappeared. Even the divine prohibition banner is useless? Is this not a spatial divine powers or secret skill? Supreme Shening, Emperor God Tian Yuan, Dragon Tiger Emperor, and the Earth Fiend Ancient Emperor. As they watched Heaven's Barrier's sword immortal gradually disappear, their gazes froze. The 5 divine emperors had joined forces, but they still could not take down a high-level emperor. If this news were to spread, many people would be shocked. However, this had happened in an era that had suppressed the immortal-seeking ancient road. He had even mastered the power of an ancient immortal. It didn't seem that hard to believe. A secret skill from the immortal-seeking ancient road? Xing Luo's eyes darkened as he stared at the surrounding void. He could not see where Sky Barrier's sword immortal was. However, he could feel that Sky Barrier's sword immortal had not left the immortal phoenix stream. It was just that he had used some kind of secret skill to prevent them from seeing or sensing him. The power of an ancient immortal is actually so powerful. In the void, Xing Luo looked at Sky Barrier's sword immortal, who had made the 5 divine emperors helpless. Aod could not hide the shock in his eyes. If that was really the power of an ancient immortal, the entire situation in the heaven region would change drastically. The divine emperors would no longer be able to look down on the top emperors like before. What kind of expert has reincarnated? In the Emperor Palace, Sun Jiuxiao looked at Sky Barrier's sword immortal, who had disappeared. He was even more certain of his previous guess. Only a reincarnator who had reached the peak in the past could have such a heaven-defying skill. He had successfully escaped from the hands of 5 divine emperors. Roar! Suddenly, Xing Luo, who had sensed carefully, turned into an ancient mad dragon and rushed out. The earth-fiend ancient emperor and the other divine emperors immediately rushed out. However, when Tianyuan divine emperor rushed out, his figure flashed and appeared in front of Tianyuan divine emperor and the other divine emperors. Divine Master! Tianyuan divine emperor and the other divine emperors quickly bowed respectfully. Have you captured the dragon clan that has taken human form yet? Emperor God Tianyuan asked. Someone has snatched it away. Tianyuan divine emperor and the other divine emperors broke out in cold sweat. Snatched it away? Emperor God Tianyuan's aura sank and there was coldness in his eyes. However, he did not ask further and immediately followed Xing Luo and the others. This made Tianyuan divine emperor and the other divine emperors extremely uneasy. Looking at Emperor God Tianyuan's expression, it was obvious that he was angry. Chapter 489. As the Sky Burier soared immortal and the 5 divine sovereigns left, the exotic beasts reacted. With the desolate black golden tortoise, ancient wind wolf, sky-devouring ghost python, and other exotic beasts in the lead, they immediately rushed toward the divine palace. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At that moment, a mysterious fluctuation spread out from the divine phoenix palace. Then, purple divine inscriptions appeared and spread throughout the divine palace. This situation caused the human race cultivators, who were originally planning to leave, to shift their gazes over. Could there be some treasure in the divine palace? Thinking of this, the human race sovereigns immediately went over. After all, this was the place where the divine phoenix died. It was normal for treasures to be left behind. The ones who reacted the fastest were Sun Jiuxiao and the others from the Sky Imperial Palace. They were here for the primordial divine phoenix bone. Therefore, when the purple divine inscriptions appeared, they immediately rushed into the divine palace. Aod, who was hiding in the void, watched with interest for a while before he also moved closer to them. At the same time, in the depths of the divine Phoenix Valley, in a place thousands of miles deep underground, far away from the divine palace. Why is Xing Luo here in the divine Phoenix Valley? Outside the divine dragon ancient seal, the dragon soul, who was guarding it, had a grave expression. The unique ancient wild dragon fluctuation just now was undoubtedly Xing Luo. This discovery made the dragon soul immediately appear and seal the fluctuation of the divine dragon ancient seal with the power of time and space. Compared to others, Xing Luo knew about the divine dragon ancient seal. It would be bad if he sensed the fluctuation of the divine dragon ancient seal. What happened in the depths of the divine Phoenix Valley? Xing Luo's appearance made the dragon soul even more curious about the depths of the divine Phoenix Valley. If there wasn't a great opportunity, Xing Luo wouldn't appear. Ever since Qin Yu returned from reincarnation, he had only met Xing Luo twice. The first time was in the wild secret realm of the martial world, where Xing Luo appeared and took the ancient immortal token. The second time was in the spiritual state battle ranking, where the ancient immortal inheritance and Sky Burier sword immortal appeared. Therefore, Xing Luo's appearance must be because of a great opportunity in the depths of the divine Phoenix Valley. The divine Phoenix Soul? Or is it some other opportunity? Although countless thoughts flashed through the dragon soul's mind, it did not move an inch as it stood guard beside the ancient seal. At this moment, even if the sky were to collapse, nothing would be more important than Qin Yu breaking through to the Emperor realm. Along the way, Qin Yu had relied on various schemes and methods to resolve the dangers time and time again. However, the dragon soul had always felt a strong sense of danger. After all, Qin Yu had too many enemies, and they were too powerful. His influence covered almost half of the heaven realm. Only by breaking through to the Emperor realm would Qin Yu have the capital to fight against them. Otherwise, no matter how strong he was, it would be useless in front of those divine ancient emperors. At that moment, Qin Yu, who was inside the ancient seal of the divine dragon, had already become a 9th-grade sovereign master. With the refining speed of the cyan dragon vein and the 75 branch dragon veins in his body, the cyan dragon vein and the 75 branch dragon veins in his body were refined. Qin Yu's cultivation speed could be said to be 10,000 miles per day. 75 branch dragon veins were equivalent to 75 times the cultivation speed. With the assistance of the dragon soul's tenfold time flog, such an astonishing cultivation speed was not to be underestimated. Under the crazy devouring, the vast sea of pure dragon blood qi around Qin Yu's body disappeared at a rapid speed. It was also disappearing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Now, more than 30% of it had already been devoured. As his cultivation grew stronger, the speed at which Qin Yu refined and devoured the dragon blood also became faster and faster. At the peak of his previous life, he could even refine the dragon blood essence of an ordinary Emperor Realm Master in a single breath. As the dragon blood and dragon qi decreased, the great Tao power surging around Qin Yu's body became stronger and stronger. He could already clearly sense the 5 elements: chaos, slaughter, thunder, and extreme speed Tao power. Some kind of huge transformation was happening. From the great Tao power to the Tao power, that was the true source of the world energy. Only by reaching that level could one be considered to have complete control of the world energy. In the ancient seal of the divine dragon, time passed quickly. Finally, after 30 days in the ancient seal space, a towering dragon aura soared into the sky. Qin Yu's entire body was covered with green dragon tattoos. A deep dragon seal was faintly discernible between his eyebrows. At this moment, the 5 great Tao power of heaven and earth had completely transformed into the Tao power. The 3 battle dragon secret skills, Azure Dragon battling the heavens, Heaven devouring dragon seal, and Dragon God tyrannical body had also undergone tremendous changes. It could be said that Qin Yu's entire body was undergoing a rebirth. Did he succeed? When Qin Yu completely stepped into the Emperor realm, the dragon soul instantly sensed it and immediately entered the ancient seal of the divine dragon. When it confirmed that Qin Yu had broken through to the Emperor realm, it could not hide the ecstasy in its eyes. Condense. Although he had successfully broken through, Qin Yu did not stop cultivating. He was still absorbing the dragon blood to stabilize his realm. At the same time, the main dragon vein and sub-dragon vein in his body also began to change. The main dragon vein, which had originally reached the cyan grade, turned dark cyan. That level had already surpassed the level of a peak divine emperor's dragon vein. The number of sub-dragon veins also continued to increase, reaching a total of 90, spreading throughout his limbs and bones. 2nd grade Emperor Realm. When the last strand of dragon blood was absorbed, Qin Yu slowly opened his eyes. In his eyes, a dazzling golden dragon shadow flashed. Qin Yu stood up and clenched his fists, unable to hide the excited smile on his face. Now that he had reached the 2nd grade Emperor Realm, it would not be long before he recovered to the peak Emperor Realm from his previous life. 2 days ago, Xing Luo appeared in the depths of the immortal phoenix stream. As soon as Qin Yu came out of the ancient seal of the divine dragon, the dragon soul that appeared immediately said. Qin Yu used the ancient seal of the divine dragon to break through to the Emperor realm this time, but only 3 days had passed in the outside world. The turmoil in the depths of the immortal phoenix stream had not yet subsided. Xing Luo appeared? A fierce look flashed in Qin Yu's eyes as he looked up. Only then did he realize that the huge phoenix shadow in the depths of the immortal phoenix stream had disappeared. However, upon closer inspection, there were still extremely chaotic and violent fluctuations in the depths of the immortal phoenix stream. Among those fluctuations were the Emperor realm cultivators of the human race, as well as the ancient beasts of the Great Desolation ancient lands. In addition, there was also an extremely special fluctuation. That fluctuation was not true chi of the martial path, nor was it ancient divine power. It was more ancient than both. It was a bit like, after thinking for a moment, Qin Yu dispersed the barrier around him, put the spirit runes into the spirit array disk, and escaped to the surface. Flying up into the sky, after looking around, Qin Yu went directly to the depths of the immortal phoenix stream. With Qin Yu's current cultivation, coupled with the secret techniques and divine abilities he had, even if he encountered a peak Emperor realm cultivator again, he would definitely not have to run away. As for high-level emperors, Qin Yu could deal with them without the help of spirit arrays. Not long after, Qin Yu arrived in the depths of the immortal phoenix stream, in front of the divine palace filled with purple runes. As expected, this fluctuation is close to the power of an ancient immortal. Qin Yu flew down and gently touched the purple runes. After carefully sensing them, his eyes flashed with a strange light. With a flash of his figure, Qin Yu rushed directly into the divine palace. The moment Qin Yu entered the divine palace, he seemed to have arrived in a vast and desolate world. The interior of this divine palace was actually a Tao space. However, the power that filled it was not the power of an Emperor realm cultivator. Instead, it was a mysterious fluctuation that was stronger than the power of Tao techniques. Chapter 490. This Tao space can seal my spacetime mystique. The dragon's soul in human form said solemnly. The spacetime divine ability he released was suppressed to the extreme in this space. If he encountered danger, he would not be able to help Qin Yu. Not only that, it can also interfere with perception, Qin Yu added. In this space, the range of perception within a radius of 10 meters was the limit. Qin Yu, who originally wanted to sense where the fluctuation that was close to the power of an ancient immortal, could only restrain his perception. If we barge in like this, I'm afraid we won't be able to finish exploring in a short time. The dragon's soul looked around. At a glance, this great desolate world was boundless. It was probably no smaller than the great desolate ancient land outside. I have to think of a way. Qin Yu came here for two reasons. First, he wanted to see what the fluctuation that was close to the power of an ancient immortal was. Second, he wanted to see if he could find the ancient divine phoenix bone. This space was filled with the fluctuations of the divine ability of the three emperors. Obviously, Heavenly Imperial Palace and the others were still here. For Qin Yu, Heavenly Imperial Palace was still the best place to hide. Even if he had reached the Emperor realm, it would still be the same. After all, he had been in Heavenly Imperial Palace for so long. Whether it was inside Heavenly Imperial Palace or outside forces, they all acknowledged his existence. At this time, if he continued to stay in Heavenly Imperial Palace, as long as he did not expose his identity, naturally it was much more advantageous than going out alone or rejoining other forces. As for revenge against Star Luo and the 12 ancient emperors, Qin Yu could also use Heavenly Imperial Palace's power to plan well. The other powers of the ancient emperor aside, the sacrificial evil god court would be the first power that Qin Yu would destroy. Therefore, helping Heavenly Imperial Palace find the 4 divine herbs and refine the immortal emperor pill. Increasing the strength of the descendants of the 3 emperors was also in Qin Yu's interest. Right? After thinking for a while, Qin Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. With a thought, a celestial providence star appeared in his fortune immortal seal. After endless battles, the number of stars of providence in the celestial creation seal had reached 30. However, 30 stars of providence seemed to be the limit of the celestial creation seal. The rest of the power of providence was absorbed by the remaining half of the great destiny spell. During this period of time, Qin Yu had absorbed a lot of Emperor Realm destiny. That half of the scroll was already 1/10 more than the original. When he first discovered it, Qin Yu was excited for a long time. This was because, given enough time, the complete Great Fate art would appear. Bang! Qin Yu activated the celestial seal of good fortune. His Providence star shattered, and specks of starlight appeared. Soon, Qin Yu discovered that the pressure of this Tao law space on his perception had weakened by countless times. Although there was still a lot of interference. However, Qin Yu was now able to accurately determine the approximate direction of the power of an ancient immortal. Apart from that, he could also vaguely determine the location of the Sky Emperor Palace and the others. Qin Yu immediately flew in the direction of the ancient immortal's power. The suppression of this Tao law space was too strong, and the perception of the Providence star was quickly fading away. Have they already met up? Not long after Qin Yu entered the Tao law space of the Divine Palace, the sound of something breaking through the air came from afar. It was Sun Gushing, who had been divining to find Qin Yu. He looked at the compass in his hand, which showed that Qin Yu had appeared together with Sun Jiuxiao and the others. Sun Gushing could not help but be startled. After running to so many places, Qin Yu had finally met up with the Sky Emperor Palace and the others? If he had known this, he would not have run around the immortal phoenix stream. Without hesitation, Sun Gushing immediately rushed into the Divine Palace. Rumble! In the Divine Palace, a violent battle was taking place in a certain void of the Tao law space. 7 Emperor Realm exotic beasts were besieging 2 human Emperor Realm masters. The 7 Emperor Realm exotic beasts were only 3rd or 4th grade Emperor Realm masters. The 2 human Emperor Realm masters were 5th grade Emperor Realm masters. The two sides were fighting. Although there was a gap in cultivation, the exotic beasts were on par with the human Emperor Realm masters in terms of numbers. In the void outside the battlefield, Qin Yu used a secret technique to hide in the void. Along the way, Qin Yu had already used 3 stars of providence. The fluctuation close to the power of an ancient immortal was extremely clear, and it should be in front of him. However, he did not expect that the exotic beasts and the human Emperor Realm Masters would come. They are from the Dragon Tiger Divine sect. The Dragon Soul sized them up. Although the two were not wearing the Dragon Tiger Divine sect's uniform, the divine abilities and secret techniques they used were all from the Dragon Tiger Divine sect. My perception is getting stronger and stronger. Qin Yu was no longer interested in watching the battle of ordinary Emperor Realm Masters. He had been concentrating on sensing the specific location of the fluctuation of the ancient immortal force. Qin Yu had no choice but to activate the destiny stars again. After a few dozen breaths, Qin Yu's expression changed slightly as he looked at a certain void. Dragon Soul, let's go! Hearing this, the Dragon Soul immediately returned to the Divine Dragon Ancient Seal. Qin Yu's mind array disc appeared in his left hand, and the Azure Dragon tattoo appeared on his right hand. His figure flashed and disappeared. Rumble! In the next moment, the sound of an explosion suddenly came from the battlefield between the exotic beasts and the Emperor Realm Masters. Mysterious and ancient divine runes began to spread out in the void. Like ancient chains made of runes, they wrapped around the 7 ancient beasts and the human sovereigns. Who is it? Dragon Tiger Divine Shield. The 2 Emperor Realm Masters of the Dragon Tiger Divine sect were shocked and immediately used their secret technique. As they formed seals with their hands, the roars of dragons and tigers sounded from their bodies. Then, 2 huge figures of a dragon and a tiger appeared and turned into a divine shield to protect them. Human race? Kill! The 7 exotic beasts also sensed that the attacker was a human Emperor Realm Master. They became more and more violent, and their killing intent swept across the sky. Ancient divine abilities were used one after another, shaking heaven and earth. Poochie! Unfortunately, the ancient divine runes that appeared seemed to be indestructible. In an instant, they pierced through the Dragon-Tiger Divine shield cast by the 2 Emperor Realm Masters of the Dragon-Tiger Divine sect. The 7 ancient beasts' origin divine abilities were annihilated as well. Along with the sound of flesh being pierced, the 7 exotic beasts and the 2 Emperor Realm Masters had their heads pierced through. Their heads were pierced, and their bodies and souls were imprisoned. Destroy! Qin Yu gave a low shout. The ancient divine runes turned into thousands of divine lights and exploded, killing the exotic beasts and the human Emperor Realm Masters. Qin Yu appeared and looked at the beheaded exotic beasts and Emperor Realm Masters with a smile on his face. With his current cultivation of the 2nd grade Emperor Realm and the enhancement of the Azure Dragon battling the heavens, he could kill 4th grade and 5th grade Emperors in an instant. With a flash of white light, the skeleton Ghost King appeared, and a bloody light scattered. The 7 exotic beasts and the 2 Emperor Realm Masters were covered by the bloody light, and their vitality was quickly devoured. After the battle, Qin Yu came to a certain void. According to his perception, the fluctuation that was close to the power of an ancient immortal was emitted from that void. Qin Yu stretched out his hand toward that void, and the space-time power of the dragon's soul spread out. He carefully sensed it. Buzz buzz buzz. After a while, Qin Yu's eyes lit up. A strong suction force appeared and directly pulled Qin Yu into that void, and he disappeared. Chapter 491. This is, Qin Yu appeared in front of a divine palace. This divine palace was exactly the same as the one in the depths of the immortal Phoenix stream. If it weren't for the completely different waves of energy emitted by the two, Qin Yu would have thought that he had been teleported out. I see, it's a world within a world. The dragon's soul came to a realization after looking at it. They had also encountered a world within a world within a world within the ancient imperial palace. It was a new mystic realm within the Sumeru realm. However, in this world within a world, a Tao technique space was created within the Tao technique space. Such a technique already involved a very deep level of the mysteries of space. Even Qin Yu at his peak would find it difficult to do so. It was no wonder that even the dragon soul's space-time ability was completely suppressed. As soon as they entered the divine palace, a majestic, godlike pressure descended upon them. That pressure was so strong that it made Qin Yu's body sink violently. The Tao power and battle dragon true essence in his body seemed to have disappeared at this moment, and he couldn't circulate them at all. If it weren't for the dragon god tyrant body being strong enough, Qin Yu would have been crushed to the ground by now. Crack! As Qin Yu entered the divine palace, an extremely soft cracking sound came from the depths of the divine palace. A weak but divine pressure was emitted from his body. It's really an immortal beast? Qin Yu and the dragon soul's expressions changed. That sacred pressure was undoubtedly an immortal beast, or rather, a pure-blooded descendant of an immortal beast. Although it seemed a little different from the 7-colored celestial Qilin's power. In terms of pure strength, it was above the 7-colored celestial Qilin. Because that pressure was very close to the fluctuations of an ancient immortal's power. A descendant of an immortal phoenix? Qin Yu's eyes flashed slightly, and he walked toward the depths of the divine palace despite that terrifying pressure. To be honest, compared to a pure-blooded descendant of an immortal beast, Qin Yu preferred the dragon race. Because the dragon race could help him break through his cultivation, but the descendant of an immortal beast needed to be nurtured again. As for potential, Qin Yu had built a supreme foundation in this life. Once he regained his peak cultivation, he was confident that he could cross the Emperor realm. By then, it would not be impossible for him to raise the level of the dragons that he had subdued to the level of immortal beasts. Therefore, Qin Yu was not very enthusiastic about cultivating the descendants of immortal beasts. After all, Qin Yu's priority was to recover his cultivation. Cultivating immortal beasts was something that could only be done when one had free time. Soon, Qin Yu arrived at the depths of the divine palace. There were 10 ancient altars over 10 zhang tall there. The 9 surrounding palaces were pale gold in color, arranged in a 9 palaces formation. The one in the middle was pale purple in color. The spiritual energy of the 9 pale gold divine altars gathered at the pale purple divine altar. On top of the pale purple divine altar, there was a 10 feet tall divine egg that was completely purple in color. At this moment, a clear crack had appeared on the purple sacred egg. The energy fluctuation that was close to the power of an ancient immortal came from the purple divine pill. The pure spiritual energy gathered by the 9 god altars was crazily absorbed by the purple god egg. This made the energy fluctuation emitted by the purple sacred egg become even more intense and terrifying. Immortal essence sky seizing formation. Qin Yu only saw it when he got closer. The 10 altars were integrated into one and were not arranged in a simple 9 palaces formation. Instead, they were arranged in 10 positions. It was a famous divine formation in the primordial age, and this divine formation only appeared in the early primordial age. This was because it was rumored that this divine formation stole the origin of the immortal qi of heaven and earth. The immortal qi of heaven and earth only existed in the early primordial age, when ancient immortals were born. However, with the great changes of heaven and earth, the ancient immortals of the primordial age disappeared, and so did the immortal qi. It could be said that since the primordial age, the immortal qi of heaven and earth became the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Qin Yu had only seen the immortal essence sky seizing formation once in his previous life. He had seen it in the immortal trove when he obtained the immemorial battle dragon art. Qin Yu now knew many of the array Dao, which he had obtained from the immortal trove. He did not expect that when the immortal phoenix passed away in order to let its descendants be born, it actually set up the immortal essence sky seizing formation. From the current situation, this immortal essence sky seizing formation seemed to have been modified, because this immortal essence sky seizing formation plundered and condensed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. However, it was not ordinary spiritual energy of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy on the 10 altars seemed to be the source of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. The energy contained in every trace of spiritual energy of heaven and earth was as vast as the sea and unfathomable. Crack! The sound of cracking rang out again, and a ray of dazzling purple divine light appeared from the 2 cracks. Even if it's a pure-blooded immortal beast descendant, this pressure is too strong, right? In the dragon god ancient seal, the dragon soul's eyes had a trace of seriousness and also a trace of bewilderment. The dragon soul was cultivated by Qin Yu from the body of the immortal ancient Shinran, and its potential was not inferior to the descendants of immortal beasts. But now, in front of this immortal phoenix that had yet to be born, the dragon soul actually had a faint feeling of being suppressed. Immortal beasts should also be divided into strong and weak. Qin Yu did not know much about the immortal beasts of the primordial era. However, the immortal phoenix should be stronger than the 7-colored immortal Qilin. This point should be indisputable. Whoosh, whoosh. The sound of cracking rang out continuously, and more cracks appeared on the purple divine egg. Purple divine light spread out from those cracks, tearing apart the surrounding void. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth on the 10 altars also gathered toward the purple divine egg, becoming denser and denser. In the end, it turned into a whirlpool of spiritual energy that covered the purple divine egg. Chirp! Finally, following the sound of an explosion, the clear cry of a phoenix could be heard. The spiritual energy whirlpool was instantly devoured, and the purple divine egg appeared. However, at this time, the eggshell of the purple divine egg had turned into wisps of purple liquid. It kept gathering toward the center of the purple divine egg, where a palm-sized ball of purple divine light gathered. Not long after, the eggshell of the purple divine egg completely melted and was absorbed by the purple divine light. After a while, the ball of purple divine light gradually dissipated. "This is the immortal phoenix?" Seeing what appeared in the purple divine light, Qin Yu was stunned. The dragon's soul also stared at it. A little purple bird the size of a baby's fist appeared on the altar. The little purple bird seemed to have not woken up yet. Its small eyes looked around in a daze. Chirp, chirp. After a long time, the little purple bird woke up. Its small eyes looked timidly at Qin Yu, who was looking at it with a strange expression. Its purple crystal-like wings flapped clumsily, but it was completely unable to fly. He wobbled on the altar and even accidentally tripped. "This thing, is it really the legendary immortal phoenix?" Qin Yu and the dragon soul were even more puzzled. The pressure on the little purple bird that made the dragon soul feel suppressed had completely disappeared. At a glance, it looked like an extremely ordinary little bird. If Qin Yu had not seen its birth with his own eyes, he would not have associated it with the immortal phoenix. Chapter 492. It can't be a mutation, right? Qin Yu carefully sized up the purple, furry baby immortal phoenix. Before the baby immortal phoenix was born, its aura was so strong that even he felt pressured. Why did it become so inconspicuous now that it had broken out of its shell? The dragon soul also appeared from the ancient dragon seal and looked at it with interest. Suddenly, Qin Yu and the dragon soul's eyes narrowed. That young immortal phoenix that was flapping its little purple wings and flying toward Qin Yu in a shaky manner. The moment it saw the dragon soul, its small eyes suddenly lit up, and its throat kept moving. His expression was as if he had seen an extremely delicious delicacy. It wants to eat me?" The dragon soul was stunned. This baby immortal phoenix was really different from the seven-colored celestial qilin. It remembered that the seven-colored celestial qilin could not even get close to it when it felt its dragon aura. This young immortal phoenix, on the other hand, actually wanted to eat him? Thinking of this, the dragon soul released a vast dragon aura to suppress it. But it was completely useless against the baby immortal phoenix. As the dragon aura released by the dragon soul became stronger, the baby immortal phoenix's eyes became brighter. "This doesn't seem to be a simple immortal beast." Seeing this, Qin Yu's eyes flickered slightly. Dragons and phoenixes were equal connate lifeforms, and there was no absolute difference in strength. This point was undoubtedly displayed on this young immortal phoenix. Qin Yu walked over and stretched out his palm. The baby immortal phoenix was not afraid of Qin Yu, and it clumsily jumped into Qin Yu's palm. However, its bright eyes were still fixed on the dragon soul. Qin Yu was a little helpless. Many precious and rare spirit herbs of heaven and earth appeared. This finally made the baby immortal phoenix change its attention and look at the spirit herbs of heaven and earth. As the purple divine light flickered, all the spirit herbs of heaven and earth were swept up and devoured by the baby immortal phoenix. More importantly, after devouring those spirit herbs of heaven and earth, the baby immortal phoenix's aura did not increase much. If this continues, it will probably become poor soon. The dragon soul laughed. Qin Yu had killed many venerable sovereigns and plundered countless treasures. However, it definitely wouldn't be able to withstand the immortal phoenix's swallowing. If they wanted to nurture them into adulthood, they would probably need the foundation of a top force. If you're really broke from eating, just sell it. Looking at the young immortal phoenix flapping its wings and beating its heart in his palm, Qin Yu smiled and put it away. A pure-blooded immortal beast's heir would definitely cause countless forces to fight over it, and its value was boundless. Of course, Qin Yu was just joking. This young immortal phoenix was not an ordinary pure-blooded immortal beast. It was worth nurturing. After circling the immortal energy heaven-sweeping formation twice, Qin Yu took out several formation flags. The array flags flew into the sky and scattered around the 10 divine altars. "Rise!" Following Qin Yu's roar, the formation flags shuddered violently as lines of mysterious runes spread out. The 10 ancient divine altars were immediately restrained and flew into the sky. Qin Yu waved his right hand and put away the 10 divine altars. This immortal energy heaven-sweeping formation was extremely complicated to set up. Qin Yu naturally couldn't let go of this ready-made one. It might come in handy in the future. After wandering around the divine palace for a while and not finding any treasures, he left the Tao technique space. Roar. Just as he returned to the primitive world, a deafening roar sounded. A ferocious beast that was hundreds of feet tall stared at Qin Yu with its lake-like eyes. It was a primitive mutant, the mountain-devouring beast. The mountain-devouring beast opened its huge mouth, and a terrifying devouring power erupted, directly swallowing Qin Yu. Poochie! However, in the next moment there was the sound of flesh being pierced. A huge bloody hole appeared on the back of the mountain-devouring beast, and its blood was quickly devoured. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a skeleton. Qin Yu flew into the sky. After sensing for a while, he quickly flew in a certain direction. Rumble! An extremely intense battle was taking place on a towering divine mountain that reached into the clouds. Destructive Tao arts and secret techniques swept across, and the violent and terrifying divine abilities of the exotic beasts wreaked havoc. If it weren't for the purple divine light surrounding the divine mountain, most likely, he would have been reduced to ashes by such a terrifying attack. At the peak of the divine mountain, dozens of cultivators were fighting with hundreds of primitive beasts. In the center of the divine mountain, there was an endless lake. A huge skeleton that was hundreds of feet tall was floating above the lake. That skeleton was the immortal phoenix that had passed away in meditation. Now, the primitive beasts and the human race emperors were fighting for the immortal phoenix's body. However, those primitive beasts seemed to be protecting the immortal phoenix's body. They were constantly fighting with the human race emperors, but they didn't touch the immortal phoenix's body. The human race emperors were constantly bursting with violent attacks, trying to break through the primitive beast's defense. The two sides were fighting fiercely on the giant lake. Even though both sides had Emperor Realm cultivation, they were beginning to suffer casualties. Sure enough, they are all here. Qin Yu, who had quietly entered the divine mountain, observed the fierce battle. The Heavenly Imperial Palace, Ghost Emperor Holy Island, Heavenly Yuan Divine Dynasty, Dragon Tiger Divine Sect, and other top forces were all gathered here. These top forces didn't have much interaction with each other, and many of them even had grudges against each other. But at this time, they were all working together to fight against the primitive beast. The skeleton of an immortal beast was too tempting. Even if they were from top forces, they couldn't suppress the greed in their hearts. Chirp, chirp. At this time, the young immortal phoenix that was kept in the dragon god ancient seal seemed to have sensed something and let out a crisp cry. Do you want the immortal phoenix's body? Although the young immortal phoenix couldn't speak yet, it was already psychic. Qin Yu easily understood the young immortal phoenix's meaning. The young immortal phoenix seemed to be quite eager for the immortal phoenix's body. It even flapped its wings continuously, as if it wanted to fly out of the ancient seal. Qin Yu pacified the infant immortal phoenix. His gaze was sizing up the enormous lake. After looking for a while, Qin Yu quietly went underground and approached the giant lake. Somewhere in the divine mountain, a figure who was watching the battle suddenly changed his expression. That person was Aod. Aod, who didn't intend to get involved in the battle, stood up. He sensed a somewhat familiar aura. Aod's eyes showed a hint of surprise. That aura should be Qin Yu. There was no mistake. But judging from that aura, Qin Yu's cultivation was no longer at the martial Emperor realm. Could it be that he has already broken through to the Emperor realm? Aod's eyes flickered. After sweeping the violent battle, his gaze fell on the immortal phoenix's body. On this divine mountain, only the immortal phoenix's body that had passed away could attract the attention of Emperor Realm masters. However, It was not easy to seize the immortal Phoenix's body from such a chaotic battle. Even he couldn't do it easily. Rumble. The fierce battle went on for more than 4 hours, and the casualties of the strange beasts and the human race were increasing. Suddenly, there was an earth-shattering explosion in the giant lake. Hundreds of water pillars that were 1,000 feet tall soared into the sky with destructive power. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.